Hello and welcome back to another episode of the most exciting podcast in the world.
Bang.
It's not so subtle.
Bang.
We are not so subtle.
I am your host, your conductor for this episode on this train to Flavortown, if you will.
Guy Fieri.
I'm Guy Fieri. I'm not Guy Fieri. I wish I was. I'm Jordan Miller. Who are you, Coulter Potter?
My name is Coulter Potter. Who are you, Dane LaPointe?
I am Guy Fieri. No, Dane LaPointe.
All right, so we have a special guest on this episode. It's Guy Fieri.
We all have a little bit of Guy inside of us.
We all have a little bit of Fieri.
We've all been to Flavortown.
We felt the Fury.
If you haven't,
Fast and Furious.
If you haven't been to Flavortown, buckle up, bitch.
Buckle up.
We going.
We Tokyo drifting all the way
'Cause we
down to
Tokyo
Fast and
drifting.
Furious town.
We're on this crazy train to Flavortown.
We're going off the rails.
And
we're going off the rails.
What towns are we going to be going to in terms of topics on the show?
Well, the first town
What flavors?
is we're going to start with something a little general to kind of ease us in a little bit. We're going to talk about school.
School?
School, you say? High school. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be high school, right?
We're taking it back.
I think this could tie in with our wacky film.
That was what I was going to say.
Were you going to say that?
Yeah.
It's because we're on the same wavelength. Dude!
No, but yeah. I think it ties in quite nicely.
Yeah.
What is our question?
Well, let's start with this question, which is fidget spinners. What are they?
That's not a question,
Why are they so popular?
I
don't know.
Let's just read our notes exactly as
What
they
are
appear.
fidget spinners,
I'm
you
kidding.
say?
Our question. I actually still... I know what they are. I'll be honest. I know what they are, so...
You didn't until like 15 minutes ago.
No, I didn't know the word fidget spinner. I knew what a fidget spinner was. I just didn't know the name.
But here's the deal: is that you would know it if you were a memer. If
Yeah.
you were like a millennial.
If I kept up on the hot
If you knew your memes.
If you're an internet god.
I get my memes through osmosis.
I swear to God.
I see them in the real world, and I'm like, oh, that's neat and weird. And then I see that on the internet.
The real
I'm like,
world.
Oh, that's a meme.
IRL, you say.
Anyways, our question. Dane, what is it?
A fidget spinner?
Yes. No, the actual question.
What is the question? Okay, well, it has nothing to do with fidget spinners. It's, what trouble did you get into in school?
I was a perfect child, so none.
Wow.
You can't just say that.
You're a saint.
You can't.
I'm kidding. I got up to my good fair bit of mischief.
Wow.
All kids did.
Uh,
Even you squares out there.
that is just...
Sorry.
We're all a little square.
Did you guys? This isn't actually the exact question, but did you ever get something confiscated, like a fidget spinner or something like that?
No, fidget spinners weren't invented until this year.
Yeah, but like paraphernalia. Did you ever have?
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
any
lots
sort
of drug paraphernalia.
Yeah, I remember I had this
the
sick-ass
dogs.
bong that got...
Made one in a wood shop.
Yeah.
They did confiscate my meth stash, but
They, besides my crack pipe that I miss to this day, I didn't get much confiscated. No,
Yeah, no, not really.
I
Go
had things that people attempted to confiscate.
Oh, and then you just refused.
Yeah, there was at least one time actually in high school, my one of my teachers saw me texting. I was making I think it was a Snapchat. I made a sick Snapchat.
You weren't using Snapchat back then.
I must have been, or it was like, what was it?
Snapchat's been around for a minute, but I don't know about like high school.
In senior year?
I don't
It was
know,
senior
dude.
year.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was definitely a Snapchat in
I don't
senior year.
want to make any bold claims.
Okay, well, whatever it was either a Snapchat or it was like just a picture. It was some sort that I was using my camera for. And then the teacher was like, "Oh, I'll be taking that now." I'm like, "No, then
I don't
you
know
won't."
about
And then it's like, either you give me the phone or you're going to the office. I was like, okay. And then I just left, and I never went to the office. I think I just went home. It was sixth period.
Yeah.
I just went.
Fuck you to
I went to
authority.
like Dairy Queen, and then I went home. Cause I'm a fucking badass.
You were a rebel to the bone.
Name the
I'm
teacher.
I'm a
Don't.
rebel, Dottie. I
Dox
will
the
not
teacher.
do that. It was sixth period. That's all I'll say.
Sixth period.
Last
Mr.
period of the
Magoo.
day.
What class though?
Marine biology.
All right.
No,
Mr. Marine Biology.
it was
We're
Mr.
coming for
Marine. Yeah,
you. Okay.
my teacher was a dolphin.
Oh.
No, it wasn't.
In one of those schools.
Yeah, so I never really got anything confiscated.
Me
quote, unquote.
neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely didn't. That was.
So, it was at least.
Sorry,
it was worth,
guys.
It was worth the question.
No, but
It could have been funny.
as far as getting in trouble, I definitely didn't ever like really get in trouble. The most like in trouble I got was probably during like elementary school when we were playing in PE dodgeball, and then it got down to me and one other dude, and we were sparring. We were like getting super into it, and like
No.
it was going down for sure. And then I think I lost, and then afterwards
Were you angered?
I was angered, and then I think someone like to my face like said that I was trash or like I sucked or something like that.
Man.
Did you
And
throw the
then-
ball in their face?
So they threw down the gauntlet.
I actually like I may have like instigated this a little bit, but we technically got in a fight, which
Coulter!
wasn't really a
Wait,
fight.
I remember who this was.
All right.
I won't say it. I won't say it, but I
Replace-
do remember you telling me about
Replace
this.
the first and last, or the first letters of their last. And
No, I'm
first
pretty
name.
sure it started with an E.
I don't remember.
Yeah, anyway.
Or I honestly don't remember their name for sure unless you said it, which you're not going to. But
Well,
no, yeah, we like got I think we got written up or whatever the procedure is for getting in a fight.
Did you get suspended?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. And it wasn't even. I think I felt strong remorse when we were getting like told off or whatever for it. So I think they
should
saw
not have done that.
that I was distraught because I fucked up.
Yeah, we're gonna save the troublemaker for last because I have a good one. Dane's part's probably gonna be a very long list of horrible stories. Most of mine are not actually me causing a lot of trouble. It's me being part of a group of people that end up causing trouble, and so I just get thrown into it because
okay.
I'm an innocent bystander.
That's an
and
easy
what
way.
happens.
That's an easy excuse to
Good
make.
people in this world get hurt for no good reason. I'll tell you that because it happens to me. But yeah,
Like
a few
what?
times in our history class in 11th-ish grade or 12th, I don't remember.
That was senior year.
Sure, it was 12th grade, and I'm sitting there with our friend Dane and a couple other friends. I'm a diligent student, okay? I listen, I pay attention
You
in
stop
class, I
that.
take my notes, I listen. Meanwhile, Dane and just Timbuk Tommy in the back seat over there are just talking crap and pushing things around and doing stuff, and the teacher just yells at me every single time and says, "Miller, what are you doing over there?" I was like, I'm working, man. I'm doing work over here,
kinda
and you're just
funny.
yelling at me.
And he would just single you out every
He would
time.
single
like,
me out
And he
every
moved
single time.
you across the classroom.
He did, and then also one time he pulled me aside and was like, "Jordan, I know, like, it's like I know you can like do like well in class.
Oh
I know
my
you're
God,
doing well.
dude.
Like, you need
That's
to pay
the
attention." It's like,
worst.
I am. I'm literally doing like everything you're saying. I'm doing like your work here.
Did
but
you try to reason with him? Did you
I
actually say?
mean, I was like, yes,
swear.
like it's not me. Just like well, whatever, you know, like
That's amazing.
yeah, writing you off.
And then there was another time where this was in junior high, I think. I was in math class, and one of our friends was just like being a jokester, and so I took a pencil and threw it at him as a joke, as you do with your friends. You throw
Oh
things
yeah,
at
you
him.
throw up knives, pencils.
I just threw a pencil at him, and then the teacher was like, "Jordan, what are you doing? Are you throwing that pencil? You could have poked his eye out with that or whatever." I was like, I mean, not really. It was just a pencil. I didn't hit him in the face or anything. And then I got like a lunch duty or detention for it. Another time I was outside at lunch. We had like our lunch, you know, you could go outside and do whatever. I had like a cup in my hand, and as a joke, I threw it at someone. It was empty. It was completely empty. I was going to pick it up afterwards.
Sure.
Someone comes by and says, "Jordan, are you going to, like, you just threw that on the ground, like, you're littering. Are you going to pick that up?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I was." And then they said that I wasn't going to pick it up and gave me a lunch detention for that as well.
They said that you weren't going to pick it up.
We
Yeah.
should describe what a lunch detention entails.
It's a detention at lunch.
Okay.
Do you not get to eat, or do you just eat?
Well,
in
there's
the
lunch
You
class?
get your
detention-
food and get sent into a room and are in solitary confinement.
Okay,
I
then
wouldn't
there's
know, 'cause
also
I'm a
lunch duty,
saint.
Yeah, lunch duty is where you just clean up the tables after. everyone's done
Yeah.
and all that.
which is not that bad.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Lunch duty, I mean, I did so many of those at some point that like it's just whatever. But at
you
first
should ask
it's
to get paid.
at first it's embarrassing because like everyone is watching you
You're that
wash
guy.
the tables, and they're like, "Oh, he fucked up.
Look at that guy washing.
Like
the
he
table.
messed up. He did something." Yeah,
And he did. I mean,
I mean,
It's not
yeah,
beating around
every
the
time
bush.
I did.
Every time
There's-
something objectionable.
I feel like this question is kind of like,
loaded for you.
yeah, there's just too many to count.
What are your best ones?
Oh, man.
What are your top dogs?
Some of my one of the best ones was in home ec. There was two things. One of them was me and another student who I won't name.
That's nice of you.
We we're doing the home ec portion where you do like sewing, and there was a box of a bunch of fabrics and like just like a big huge box that like a person could fit in.
Yeah.
Of just fabric and like random pieces of like scrap cloth and stuff, and we like I didn't do it, but I definitely instigated this. We hid inside the box covered in like fabric.
How big was this box?
It was a big box. It was enough to fit like.
Were you actually hiding in it?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Oh.
Someone else was.
Okay.
But like entirely covered by all the fabric.
Yeah.
A full, like, not a fully grown man, but like what, like eighth, like not a full grown man, but it was like 8th grade, like 8th or 9th grade.
Okay.
So like not a baby or anything.
A sizable child.
Yeah, a sizable teenager was in this box, and we waited for another girl to walk by, a student to walk by, and then we jumped out and like scared her and like did this whole thing. So that's
so
not like
rude.
the most ridiculous one, but it was just absurd because the class was just like
because
a
you were hiding in a
lawless
box.
wasteland. Yeah, we were hiding in a box. And then that same class, I started a flower fight
That sounds
where
fun.
we just
That sounds
threw
delightful,
threw flour like baking flour at each other.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about like
Oh, no.
flowers.
It's not like putting a flower in
No.
the barrel of a
I
police
thought you guys were
officer's
just like
gun.
tossing flowers in the
No,
air and
no.
just having a frolic.
And then it shows the camera of us being like,
Yeah.
like spinning around.
This is so fun.
No, so we did that, and then we all got sent to the principal's office. But then, of course, me and like one other kid got singled out for being the ringleaders, and got like a
scams.
week of like lunch detention. There was one class where our class was so over the top that like so mean to each other, like jokingly and like sarcastic, that the teacher just said, okay, no more like negativity or anything, and like put her foot down. And so like jokingly with another student, I called him a banana sandwich, like to not say like idiot or jerk or anything like that. And then she knew I was pushing the limits of what was possible, and wrote me up a lunch duty, and on the lunch duty it said for calling another student a banana sandwich.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
is
I
good.
like that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I remember in 10th, this wasn't me, this was some people in our class, but so during class we were using like Microsoft like Note or something. We were all like writing things on like tablets and stuff, and they popped up on the board, and someone wrote like, this person is like gay or something like that, and then our teacher started crying in class.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Oh, I know who that
my
is.
God.
I know what.
It was really bad.
Oh, that was that the one where you had to use the netbooks to like write
Yeah.
something on the? Okay,
Yeah.
so in my same class, I think it was the same teacher.
It probably was.
Yeah, it was like across from the portables, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the same situation, we were like supposed to be doing like, it was like algebra, whatever, advanced algebra. We were supposed to be doing the equations or whatever it was, and then putting it up on the board and like putting it up in like group format so that you would look up and see like, oh yeah, group 1, blah blah blah, and like make a table.
Yeah.
And then I just decided to fill out each table with the full lyrics to California Girls by Katy Perry.
All right.
And then our entire class lost privileges for the netbooks for the entire
I
year.
hope you were happy.
Oh my god.
I thought it was pretty. I mean, it was literally like the full song of California Girls just in every table.
Yeah.
That's a
Just
lot of-
copy and pasted.
That's a lot of work to put that in there. I mean,
It was worth it.
it probably was.
Control C, Control V.
And you could- yeah.
How many were there?
It was like the entire screen was just full of like the lyrics to California Girls.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
To pull on a class.
Yeah, and like and they could see it as it was being updated.
Yeah.
Because it was live on the board. It was just like a projection or like you're like streaming it from the netbooks. So you would just, as you're like seeing all these equations go up, you just start to see like Katy Perry lyrics just slowly fill it up, and then the next thing you know, the entire screen is just full of it.
And then the next thing you know, the books are taken away and the teacher's crying. And I hope you were
She
happy.
wasn't happy.
I,
She was real unhappy with that one.
that's okay.
The question
Yeah.
is, did it have the Snoop Dogg line, "Greetings, loved ones, let's take a journey"?
It had every single
Every
lyric.
line.
It had every line.
Well, that's more of a
I
prelude.
didn't miss
It's more of a prologue and fugue.
a prologue and fugue. I mean, it was
We've
included.
now mentioned that in every episode. I must point out.
Chekhov's
Fugue.
Chekhov's fugue
Bach.
and
I'm
fugue.
in a fugue. Fugue state? That's a thing, right?
I'm trying
Yes.
to think of other. Yeah.
Do you have any other standout moments where you got in trouble? Either of you?
No.
I don't know. there's honestly just so many small things that happened that just
I feel like we're gonna think
over
of
the
one
years.
after the podcast that you did that was like
I actually remember a really funny
tragedy.
one that
If
Dane did.
if I think of one, I'll say it. but-
So we're in a class, computer graphics. It was a joke of a class.
Oh man.
So at the start of class, we're like it was
Digital
before class
graphics.
even started. Yeah, digital graphics.
Yeah.
We're just in there, just bullshitting, just talking to each other, and the teacher was like, "Okay, guys, quiet down," or whatever. Like, stop messing around. Or one of our friends was actually like kicking Dane like underneath the table, but you couldn't see it because the table was like you can't see all the way underneath there. And Dane was like yelling at him and talking, and our teacher was like, "All right, Dane, like get up and move to like this side of the table." And Dane was just like, "No, I'm not gonna get up and move." And the teacher's like, "Well, you're either gonna get up and move, or you need to like go to the office right now." And then Nate was just like, "No, I'm not moving." And then got up and stormed out of class and slammed the door on his way out after he walked to the office.
But the problem was that I think what was happening was like he
I mean, it wasn't your fault.
it wasn't. He took the what did he do? He took something off the chair, like a piece of the chair off, so the chair was like either super low or like the wheel was off or something. Which was like, now that I look back on it, like
That's
it was a pretty funny situation, but like we had fucked around so much in that class that the teacher was just, and it was a substitute teacher because our teacher was pregnant. And so he wasn't even supposed to be our teacher in the first place, and he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah,
He kind of did, but like
he tried.
it was absurd from the start, the fact that he was there. And so he couldn't keep us under control. Like he was kind of cool. He didn't really care about half the things we did. Quick aside, quick tangent. When we did our project for businesses, we all did businesses that sounded like masturbators.
That's true.
we did like, we had like 6 people in there. We was you, me, like 4 or 5 of our friends, and we
Mine
did
was,
like
Master Gators.
yeah,
It was
and
like
I
a
did.
gator wrangling company.
I did.
Wait, did you guys find these?
No, we just made
These
them
are
up.
real?
No, it's supposed
okay,
to be
you
like,
made these
so
up,
you're
okay.
it's supposed to make like a logo for your business and
Yeah.
like a like advertisement or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like Master Gators, Master Daters, Master Baiters, like fish baiting,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had like Master like
Daters, did you say that? I don't know.
yeah, I was Daters, I'm pretty sure, like a speed dating website. And then there was like there was like 5 of them.
Truly, we were comic geniuses back then.
It was hilarious, and that was when the other teacher was still there, and she was like,
Yeah.
I think she got it, but she was like, oh,
Was
yeah,
it?
okay.
Because I also remember during that, before I had gotten to Master Gators, I was like, okay, well, what if can I like somehow Soggy Biscuit was like a thing that was like in my head at that point. I was like, how can I incorporate Soggy Biscuit into one of these? So I was like, okay, like this is like a Limp Biscuit like cover like band. I'm gonna call them Soggy Biscuit. And then the teacher was like, no, you can't do that because it's way too close to like Limp Biscuit. It's like actual. I can't use like an image of Limp
Really?
Biscuit. Yeah. But
Man,
That's the reason why.
yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, like he took something off my chair, and then like I'm pretty sure I made some sort of ruckus, like trying to get out of that chair into another chair and like switch. No, that's what it was. I was switching chairs around, and then he's like, "Dane, what are you doing? Like, what's going on here? Just you're gonna move over here," because I was clearly like the clown of the group or whatever, even though we're all clowning in that class. And then I was like,
you were the clown.
and I was so angry that day, like after being singled out because of our friend, I was like, I'm not moving. He's like, you're gonna have to, like, let's not do this. Like, you could just move. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And he's like, you either move or you go to the office. I'm like, I'm not moving. So, and then next thing you know, slamming that metal door real hard.
Really slammed the door shut.
I
as
slammed the
well.
door hard.
You're very upset. Okay, that was fun.
If I think of another one, I'll say it. I'm sure there's more.
Okay.
But let's just.
Well,
You're gonna say it.
we are
I'm
going to
gonna
be
say it.
talking more about high school because the wacky movie we just watched was Dazed and Confused, a story about kids on their last day of high school of varying ages. Some of them are juniors going into their senior year.
Some
and
of
some of
them-
them are becoming freshmen.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of it? Or do either of you guys know enough about it to give a little bit more background about it? Like kind of like the director maybe or something?
It's
Take it
directed. It's directed by Richard Linklater. Linklater.
Linklater.
I think Linklater.
Linklater.
Richard L.
Dick L.
Dick
Later.
Dickle. Dick Linklater.
Haha.
Got him.
I'm 5. Got him. Yeah. So it's
Master
directed by
Laters.
Richard Linklater. Helmer of such amazing films as School of Rock.
Thank you.
He did Before Sunrise. I think it's like Before Sunrise, like Before like whatever, After Midnight. All those with like Ethan Hawke, which I haven't seen. So I have nothing to say
idea
about
what you're
that.
talking about.
He did Boyhood, which was a recent one that I guess a lot of people were.
Saw.
I mean, I didn't see it. I have no desire to see that, but I'm sure a lot of people at least know what it is. But Dazed and Confused is basically, like, I guess you could say it's like a quintessential just teen comedy. Like, it's just a teen. It's like one of those, like, similar to like Fast Times at Ridgemont High or like Breakfast Club or any of those movies that are like cult hits, like kind of like comedy teen films. Like, it's one of those for sure.
It's very similar to a movie that we previously watched on the list called American Graffiti, just kind of in the plot and like themes and stuff like
There's
that.
definitely some similarities to that.
Yeah. So what'd you guys think of it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoy most like teen comedy, stuff like that. I didn't really love American Graffiti, but this one was a little better than that, in my opinion, a little more entertaining.
I feel like American Graffiti wasn't quite as much of a comedy as this one was trying to be.
Yeah.
So that makes
Although...
sense.
Yeah, I liked American Graffiti for different reasons.
Yeah. This
different
movie
movie.
was definitely weird. It contained some stuff that we didn't think was going to be in there, namely
We didn't foresee.
child abuse and bullying.
Framed
There was a lot of bullying.
Framed around hazing, which I feel like now, like, that stuff just does not fly. Like, no movie can do that without being really, like, a controversial, like, film.
Yeah. So
No,
in
but
this-
it also, they did it in like a different... The tone wasn't that of like abuse necessarily. I mean, it was. I don't know.
they
it
did it
didn't
with
feel...
like music playing in the
I
background.
cannot defend any of that in there. Like, that shit was... I was watching that, and I said to you guys, like, if I was watching that by myself, I would have turned it off at that point. I was just like, this is just bad. Like, look at these... Like, I can't watch this. These kids are just being just humiliated.
It was weird.
Like, it was just uncomfortable to watch.
It was unexpected.
So what it is in the film is that all the freshman boys get... All the freshmen of all genders, but the freshman boys specifically get rounded
spanked.
up. Yeah, get spanked. That's not a joke. They get rounded up by the seniors, and they all the seniors have paddles, and they paddle their
That they've
asses
crafted.
That's true.
that they have made in wood shop or whatever.
Yeah, and they're
what
like...
have you.
They have like flair on them. They're like painted.
they have, like,
yeah,
their
they
own
have
paint
like...
jobs.
It's sort of like... You know, in Speed Racer, everyone has like their dope car, or Fast and Furious, everyone has like a sick car. In this movie, everyone has a sick ass paddle.
And they all take
sick ass
supreme.
paddle.
It is literally a sick ass paddle.
And they all take very much pride in doing this, and they all are like salivating to like smack a kid.
It was weird.
butt.
That part was so weird. They
Yeah.
were so
So weird.
into it. It was uncomfortable.
Dude, there's a scene where straight up they just drive their car like outside the school with a megaphone. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna beat all your asses
Yeah.
like when you walk out of the school." And then the teacher's like listening to this, and he's like, "Oh
like,
yeah,"
chuckling. He's like,
that's-
"Haha, these-
yeah." He's like having a laugh.
These goofy kids with their ass smacking. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's
really
having
weird.
he's having a wee giggle in there.
The part with the girls was honestly a lot more uncomfortable for me as well. It was like weird.
They put, like,
Yeah,
pacifiers
they
and
made them
shit.
all like have pacifiers in their mouth and then like do like up downs as the like head girl was yelling at them.
Yeah.
And then walk around to a bunch of guys and say, "Will you marry me?" Oh, well, the guy would say, "Well, what are you gonna do for me?" And the girl would say, "These
Like,
are like
anything.
15-year-old girls. It's like anything you want." It's like, all right.
This is
This is
weird.
you're fucking weird right now.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah.
And then after that, they poured like ketchup and mustard on them.
Yeah.
And then, like
Ran them through a
flour.
car wash.
Yeah, ran them through a car wash also.
Yeah, that movie
So that was
left
really
a
weird.
bad taste in
Some
my mouth.
weird
at the
And it was
start.
played, the way it was played was like we're supposed to be enjoying it. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't played as like, oh, they're being beaten, this is so horrible. It's like, oh yeah, there's like a song playing in the background while
Yeah. It's like,
these kids'
oh,
asses
you
are
guys
being
definitely
beaten.
experienced this in high school, didn't you?
Yeah,
Haha,
isn't
remember
this
when this
relatable?
happened? It's like, no, man, this shit does not happen.
Yeah, like
anymore.
no
This
one's
does
getting
not happen.
no one's getting their ass paddled in any school I've ever been to or heard
And
of.
the way they referred to it was bust ass. They
They-
literally said that.
The phrase "bust ass" is uttered in that movie 4,500 times.
Yeah, we should
at
play a
least.
drinking game where, or just a game in general, where every time they mention that, we have to bust someone's ass.
That would happen way too often. I did
Yeah.
warm up to the movie, kind of towards the middle and end. It wasn't my favorite film, but there were some good laughs in there, kind of some good feel-good moments.
There were some good lines with Matthew McConaughey's character.
Was there?
Well, wasn't he?
Alright,
No, no.
alright, alright.
Well, no, like, wasn't he the one that mentioned the thing where it's like about like being in the moment or whatever?
Nah,
and-
that was that jock guy.
Oh, that's
Dawn.
true. That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, there's
Matthew
some.
McConaughey didn't say anything of note. No, just
No.
kidding.
I think
Although he has the most popular lines.
He has a
in the
nice
film.
mustache in that.
one of my favorite characters. My favorite character in the movie was obviously Slater.
Oh,
The
weed-
stoner dude.
The very stoner dude.
Yeah, that guy was
alright.
that guy was woke.
That guy was woke. He had
That
some
guy was-
shit in his
yeah.
head. He knew it.
He
knew.
Yeah, he was laying down some like philosophical shit like that whole
George
movie.
Washington was a stoner, man. His wife, she was waiting for him every day when he came home with a joint.
with a fat-ass
ready.
bowl.
Fat-ass
Like,
bowl.
what?
with a fat ass bowl.
Bro, calm down.
No, but then there was that, and then I also really liked the Outcasts with
Yeah.
Adam Goldberg and like that skinny
fun
like
group.
nerdy dude, and then the redhead who looked like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Very unfair to her. She was a nice person.
She looked exactly.
I'm
like
just saying
that.
the hair looked.
did.
The hair was.
She did.
It was a spitting image.
She was a dead ringer for is that Helena Bonham Carter
Yeah.
in that film as
Yeah.
the Queen of Hearts.
Right.
Nice.
But that group was cool because they were talking about like, especially the Adam Goldberg dude with the sick hair. He was always like, "Oh yeah, man," like talking about how like they're wasting their time in the present, complaining about like their predicament rather than enjoying it, and like then later regretting that they like wasted their schooling years like complaining and being like mad and angsty or whatever. He's like, "We gotta like embrace the moment, yo." There's some cool like not spiritual, but
Religious messages.
yeah, I would
There's
say.
no-
Yeah.
There aren't.
No, yeah, it's all like Buddhism, man.
But yeah, there were some like themes in there and messages I thought were kind of neat. Similar to American Graffiti a lot. I felt like.
But I thought that movie was a little more gentle with their
Child abuse.
yes, and with their messaging.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely delivered better in American Graffiti than it was.
Yeah,
in-
there's
more of it.
American Graffiti, I think, is a better film to me. American Graffiti was pretty decent.
I liked it.
This one, I wouldn't recommend Dazed and Confused for me, but it was a decent comedy. Stuff does not hold up in that film.
Yeah, there was the part where like pretty close to the beginning, but when the mom takes out the shotgun, she's just like
That
like,
was just
she's like-
comical. 'Cause it's a huge shotgun.
yeah,
She
it's
just,
a
like,
giant
whips it out the
shotgun.
door. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
and
just take it
she
out.
has to like belabor like just grab it and like
The way she swings around with it, and also her facial expression is just like,
she's just like I have this fucking
yeah, this is
shotgun.
getting shot.
It's really crazy.
And then when he goes
My
up to the
favorite
door,
shot.
and they're about to
good.
go to the party, and then the dad is just at the door. He's like, no, and then he just turns around and walks away. That one was good.
Yeah. I think a lot of teen movies kind of live in their time a little bit and are like relatable to the people that are like at that age or just above at that time, and I think this may be one of those.
Yeah, because it's just a weird look at a high school, and when you watch it, you're just like, this. At least in our high school, I feel like this was just not the case at all. It was just so bizarre looking at it. It was like, where is this taking place? Like an alien world, it must be, because this is just crazy.
Yeah.
But again, some good parts in there. Some parts you should be prepared for because they're a little rough.
Yeah,
it
it just wasn't like what I expected it to be. Really,
What were you expecting from that film?
I was expecting it to be more of like a Superbad style comedy, which they had elements of, but they spent so much on that child abuse that I'm just like, what the hell is happening in this movie?
Time was spent.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I would have liked it more if they had more scenes of like the party at the end, or like even more school stuff, like antics in the classroom, or like I felt like they got out of class or out of school so fast. That must have been like the first like 30 minutes of the movie, and then the last like hour like plus a little over an hour was just all out of school stuff, but it was mostly them like running away from cars, like getting their asses paddled. That was about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I feel like they just kind of
Definitely some weird time stuff in that movie.
yeah, there's some pacing issues
of its
I think.
own time.
Oh, you mean like I see.
Like, yeah.
But like actual
pacing,
time in the movie, I think
there
the
is
pacing
actually
was like
there's some parts in there that I felt were just kind of boring. They didn't really. There are enough parts in there that weren't funny to me or weren't trying to be funny that it didn't seem like a comedy anymore.
yeah.
It really started to feel like a teen kind of like drama-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, still not my least favorite movie on this list.
What is your least favorite movie that we've watched so far on the list?
It's probably a toss-up between. It's hard for me to say whether I dislike The Thing or Halloween more. I didn't like Halloween very much. Clerks doesn't count because we didn't watch that movie, so yeah, I'd probably say Halloween.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard for me too. I might say either The Thing or it's funny that we're saying your pick, your wild card pick that you chose, Dane.
I hadn't seen it either.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's why I picked it.
I feel like you hyped it up for yourself too much.
Yeah.
I may have. I heard a lot of good things about it.
I also thought Vertigo was not
Yeah, Vertigo
very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, Vertigo was just not what I expected, but I don't know what I expected out of that.
Yeah.
I feel like if you like Hitchcock films and kind of that older era of movies, Vertigo is fine. It kind of just the pacing of it was a little.
I do
boring,
like
but,
that older era of like music and movies and TV and stuff, but I don't know.
Okay.
Something, yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's our wacky film. It was Dazed and Confused. So if you haven't watched it, sorry we spoiled it for you, but you should have watched it because our last episode told you that.
And then at the end of the podcast, we will be pulling our next wacky film, so stay tuned, boys and goyles.
The list is getting smaller, but there's still a lot of...
There's a lot of good stuff on there. There's a lot of...
You didn't even have to say it.
There's a lot of
the
great films on there.
continued roast of passion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Well, how about we move on to some more relevant stuff?
Sure,
Time-wise, it's coming up lately. Netflix, you guys like it?
Yes.
There's a new The Witcher Netflix series.
The Bitcher?
Coming to Netflix. The Bisher.
The Disher?
Fisher.
The
Disher
dishwasher.
Fisher. No,
There's
The
a
Witcher.
There's a dishwash cookbook cooking series coming to Netflix.
By Dane. It's like Rachel Ray, except Dane Troll Day.
That was awful.
Rachel Day.
Rachel Dane.
Yeah,
No one wants to hear this.
What do
So
you
is
guys
it actually coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
this
like
was
announced?
confirmed.
What are your guys' thoughts on The Witcher?
I love The Witcher.
never played it, so
You never played
I have
any of it?
zero. No, I have zero thoughts.
Huge fan.
All right, next segment. No. Witcher is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Witcher 3.
It's definitely up there for me. It's a great world.
It's a fantastic game. I love, the thing I like about The Witcher is that I like me some good fantasy, like high fantasy, like, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones.
Are those high fantasy?
I
I feel like high fantasy is like...
guess
Dungeons
high
and
fantasy would
Dragons,
probably be like,
orcs
or
and
like
elves
Wheel of
and that kind of
Time, or
stuff.
like stuff, yeah.
Orcs and elves, but Lord of the Rings is not high fantasy.
But not... Lord of the Rings is like super serious in like,
Yeah.
its depictions of them. They're all really
So I
like
guess-
human-ish.
So I guess what I mean is that, like, not
Also,
necessarily...
there's not like crazy
what-
magic.
is there like a movie that is high fantasy that you
The
can think
Page
of?
Master.
That was sick. That was a sick ref. Sick callback.
I don't know of any movies like Race to Witch Mountain.
No, get the hell out of here.
I've never seen that movie. I just thought it'd be funny to say that.
Wait, is that the Rock one that you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, man.
No, the Rock.
I mean, like, I guess you could say Shrek is probably...
Yeah, Shrek, the
Shrek is a high fantasy
Shrek is
world.
high fantasy. No, so... Anyway, whatever high fantasy is, we can just cut that out. But The Witcher is... I like how grim it is, but also realistic. Like, there's... Like... They pretty much touch on themes like, racial segregation. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a fantasy world where, like, oh, look at this crazy stuff with, like, goblins and, like, crazy, happy, like, weird fantasy town. It's like, oh, this is serious, like, political intrigue and, like...
Yeah.
The, like, story and world of The Witcher is filled with so much, like, political stuff, and then there actually is kind of the weird monster stuff, and just, like, serious, like, daily life of people. That's just really interesting. I think it probably fit pretty well for
it's
film.
so dense.
It is.
Like, each monster you fight and hunt has like a lore entry detailing, like, they have like some of the coolest like lore entries and text in like that you can read in that game of like any game I've ever played probably. And
Next
there's
to
like
Outlast 2.
Outlast 2 has
a
more
close,
dialogue.
very
not
close.
writing than
And
Witcher
more
for sure.
reading.
And The Witcher also has great writing. There's a lot of
does.
awesome dialogue in there. The choices really matter.
Yeah.
They're not black and white. They're always gray. You're always gonna like. One of the good examples of a good choice in that one in Witcher 3 is where you're like hunting down a It's the one at the village where you're hunting down that thing that keeps. It's like one of the. I think it's a Spriggan, like the tree thing.
Oh, yeah.
That like goes to the village to attack people, and then you have two ways to do it. You can kill the thing, or you can keep it alive, but like sacrifice like a girl or something who's been
Like a
touched
person
by
in
it.
the
Like
village,
yeah,
yeah.
who's been like tainted by it. And either way, it's like you kill it, and then like either way is bad. I don't remember what one of them is. If you don't kill it and you leave it alive, you'll come back later and the entire village has been slaughtered by it.
Yeah.
Or you kill it and then the village like something happens to it because they weren't able to support themselves because it's been like cursed or something.
That's one of the things I actually found like the most interesting about The Witcher is how like the moral system works in it.
Yeah.
It's not like any other games. Well, I mean there are some games that do this well too, but I think like the best games that have these choices are like The Witcher, where they're just gray. Like there are no, it's not like, oh, here's the light side choice and the dark side choice. Because for me, that takes kind of the fun away from it. Because you're just like, oh, well I want to be a good guy, so I'll just do this. And in The Witcher, it's like, well, you
want
can
to be a good guy because Luke Skywalker is a
yes,
damn idol
because
to you.
Luke
He's a
Skywalker
damn
is a
idol.
good Jedi. He is a Jedi, and I want to follow in his path. But when the options are, well, like no matter what you do, like you're gonna
Someone's
have to
gonna
compromise.
die,
It
or,
makes for a
like-
way more interesting story, and I think that like will work well for a TV series.
Yeah, I think it'll work well for a TV series because even outside of Geralt's story, there's like a whole continent that they probably haven't even like that they've barely shown, like whole land masses and like just individual towns and like years and years of history to explore. Like it could be cool. I don't know if it'll follow. Did they say if it was going to be following Geralt?
I mean, and they're following the books of The Witcher, so yes.
Okay. Yeah, and like the first book in the Witcher series is just a collection of short stories, so they could definitely like do like short form, like mini, like an hour-long episode or whatever of like one story and have like six of those or something.
Cool.
Like they could do some cool stuff.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Is this going to be better or worse than Merlin?
Hard to say. Merlin was
Damn.
a perfect
Series.
show.
Well, I mean, it's backed by Netflix. They have a shit ton of money right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it'll be good.
I feel like The Witcher is a high-profile property at this point, so it's probably not going to be like.
Yeah.
There's like a B like series and tier on Netflix of really shitty Netflix shows that somehow they get on there.
like that one with the mermaids or whatever.
Yeah. If you guys don't know this, there's a mermaid-backed Netflix like show on Netflix for some reason. I don't know.
Mermaid show.
Netflix-backed well,
Not
it is backed
mermaid,
by
but-
mermaids. Let's
Yeah.
The
It's-
The
mermaids,
mermaids
have it.
funded the show.
The mermaid.
It's funded
yeah,
by
it's,
Big Mermaid.
It's funded. It's brought to you by viewers like mermaids. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like PBS.
it's such a weird thing that's on there. I don't know why Netflix has any interest in making
Isn't it
that,
called like
but
something tales or like
I don't know.
It's some like mermaid pun. I don't know. Anyway,
Mertail.
there's a lot of weird stuff that ends up on Netflix,
Yeah.
but they've also done like the Marvel stuff.
I mean, yeah, they've done really good stuff on there.
Yeah, the Stranger
We know
Things.
that.
I mean, Stranger Things was amazing.
So I'm excited. I'm hopeful that it's really good. If it's bad, I'll be very disappointed because I love The Witcher.
I
don't want it
can't.
to be bad.
I can't imagine it being like. I don't know. I've been wrong before, so we'll have to see.
We all have at some point. Let's hope it's not about The Witcher.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that is the last thing on that we want to talk about. That's like super
All right, see you
specific.
guys.
So
All right.
we'll see you guys next week.
podcast. Woo, baby.
Just kidding.
Just
We're
kidding.
not leaving yet. We're deep. We're diving deep into our minds again for some great questions and hopefully some fun stories. Some fun.
I doubt it.
I mean, our lives are boring, drab, and filled with nothing but mind-numbing video games.
But we'll talk about some TV series.
We will.
All right, what is your favorite program on Skinamax?
Busty Maids number 9.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of backdoor
Don't.
beauticians.
Backdoor
Oh, nice
beauticians.
recovery.
Yep, that's what
really
I was
good.
gonna say from the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, our first kind of deep dive here is, what are your guys' favorite TV shows, barring Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead?
Well,
Next
pack
segment.
up, pack up.
segment.
Just kidding. I know you guys both love those shows, so
I don't love The Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
That was a mistake to say that.
Yeah.
Dan
Well,
loves The
I'm-
Walking Dead, but
you loved The Walking Dead first couple.
The first
seasons?
season.
Just the first season?
The first season.
season 2 is the one where they're on the farm or whatever, so Dan doesn't like
The
that.
second season was awful.
Yeah, I won't say it was good.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
We're not
Walking
going
Dead.
deep into the Walking Dead cast, but what are your guys' favorite TV shows currently? Maybe just past, all time. It's up to you. Is
The
it Breaking
only-
Bad, Dane?
I would say the easy answer for me is like, in all honesty, not even because of the hype,
SpongeBob
because
SquarePants.
I did start Let it be
How
known.
dare you say that? I was
SpongeBob
talking.
is amazing.
It's not a joke answer.
Let
I'm
it be
being
known
serious.
that I
I'm not.
was watching Breaking Bad around season 3. After season 3 had ended, so it was like when the hype was starting. But I definitely saw it on Netflix. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I was not on the hype train on Breaking Bad. I started.
Are you trying to say you were watching Breaking Bad before it was popular?
No, I'm trying to say that I honestly really, really enjoy Breaking Bad, and I'm not influenced by the hype.
Okay.
Wait,
but-
did you say that you didn't like it when it came out?
No, I
okay.
did, but like, yeah, I'm just trying to illustrate that like the hype hasn't blinded me.
Do you want a cookie or?
Okay, you said
but,
your piece
but
here.
yeah, anyway, Breaking Bad is my favorite TV show, and I would argue that it is the best TV series ever.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
watched-
I don't feel like any of us have watched enough TV to. Say
I've watched
it's the
one
best of all
episode
time.
of the Breaking Bad.
Oh wait, really? I didn't know.
Wasn't it
your
the Fly one?
status
I don't
on
know.
Breaking Bad?
I remember it was with a woman. I think it was Mr. Breaking Bad's wife. She's
Mr.
like an
Breaking
accountant
Bad.
or something, and she was at like her place of work, and they were talking business. I was like, this is something. She was really upset at her boss about business.
That is a bad
that's definitely
place to
not-
jump into.
Yeah, that's definitely not the best portion of the show to be watching.
Yeah, I mean it's still good, but if you have no idea why any of that is happening, it wouldn't be good.
So yeah, that's my experience with Breaking Bad.
If we're not doing Breaking Bad, I can throw out a random one here
Go ahead.
that is not going to be on anyone's top movie list or TV list probably.
Okay.
And that would be Wilfred.
All right, I've seen a little bit of Wilfred.
Yeah.
never even heard of that.
So it's
Are you
on.
serious?
It's
is it?
on. I think it was on Fox on FX,
FX, yeah.
and it was. It's originally. I don't know if it was originally on Australian television or if it was made by an Australian director or something, but I know that one of the main actors is Australian, and basically it's Elijah Wood, as the main
titular character.
He's not Wilfred though.
He's not.
No, the dog is Wilfred.
Oh right, Wilfred is.
So yeah, so basically Elijah Wood. The setup is that for whatever reason, either like because Elijah Wood is a stoner, or maybe because
he's just like
maybe because he's a
doesn't
little
sleep, and
unhinged,
he's a
or he
little
has like
crazy, yeah.
insomnia. Like there's a lot of different like weird things happening with Elijah Wood. And this is a comedy. This is a comedy.
He's not
And you're
right
are
in the
you
head.
saying his character or him?
His character.
Okay.
And yeah,
Because
his
he keeps saying Elijah
maybe
Wood. I'm
Elijah
like,
well, like I just see him as Elijah Wood. Like
Do
I
you
don't
know the name of the character? Or
No.
do you just know him as Elijah Wood?
I don't
That's
remember
all
his,
know
I don't
him
remember
as.
his name. It's been a while since I've watched it. But anyway, so the main hook of the show is that a neighbor moves in next door with a dog named Wilfred. But for some reason, whenever Elijah Wood looks at the dog, it's just a man in a dog costume.
The setup is bizarre.
It's so
I'll
weird, but
admit
like,
that.
and everyone else, it's the classic thing where like everyone else sees it as a dog, and so his neighbor will bring over Wilfred, and it'll be like, "Oh, Wilfred's so excited to see you," and then Wilfred is like really dry and
a
like,
slob kind of.
yeah, he's a slob, and he's like he's like a really bad person, and so he'll just be like, he's like, "What's up?" I think his name's like Jerry or like whatever his name is. He'll be like, "Yeah, what's up, bitch?" or like say something like really awful or like something really dark, and then Elijah Wood as the actor,
Elijah Wilson.
whatever this character's name is, will say like reply to whatever he said, and then like his neighbor will like look at him strangely and be like, okay,
I
yeah,
haven't
anyway, I'll
seen-
leave Wilfred over here to like you can watch Wilfred while I go grocery shopping or whatever. And so they get into like all kinds of hijinks.
Yeah.
It's
I haven't seen all of it, but
It's-
it's pretty funny.
it's
weird.
It's really funny. It's really dark humor
It is
and like
black
really
humor.
dry. Yeah, it's black humor, but I think there's 3 seasons,
Sounds right.
maybe 4 total. I've watched 3 of them.
Okay.
The first 2 are really good. The third one was fine, but really funny show.
Wow, that's
And it's
crazy.
It's very offbeat. It's very like quirky and weird. A lot of people probably won't like it, but that's a more interesting pick than like, Breaking Bad or something because I've talked about that at length.
Ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Not on this podcast. We'll probably talk about Breaking Bad. many
I'm sure we'll
times in the
talk about
future.
it at some point, but that's an easy one for me to throw out that came to mind.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, Breaking Bad is probably my favorite show of all time. But
I should watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean, you
It's-
should. It's all on Netflix.
I promise you won't regret it.
Yeah, everyone likes it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I will guarantee that you will like some of it. If you watch the first episode and don't like it, it's all right. Maybe you shouldn't watch it, but I'd say the first episode is definitely a good indicator of
fantastic.
Whether or not you'll like it.
Yeah, because it's really good, the first episode.
And it has everything of this.
It has
like,
everything
yeah.
pretty much that is going to be a big part of it. Anyways,
Can you just line by line go through the script of the first episode? Mr. Breaking Bad.
I would if I could.
Okay. Anyways, what you were actually saying.
But yeah, so I have a couple here. So I have to say that as a kid, SpongeBob, that was probably the most influential show to me. Comedy on point.
I love SpongeBob.
It's literally the best comedy. Probably to this day, it's like a masterclass in like comedic.
It's so good
in comedy of this generation, kind of. Are you looking at me with disdain?
I'm looking at you with an eye of what's the
I mean,
word?
it's not the funniest thing ever now, but like,
but man,
I'm trying to see.
A lot of jokes still hold up.
They do. I admit, SpongeBob is funny. I watched a ton of SpongeBob as well, but to me, I don't have it in my mind as like this monument of comedy genius. It's pretty funny, but I don't like. If you take a step back, are people looking at SpongeBob like outside of SpongeBob and saying, "Oh, this is actually like one of like the greatest comedy like sets like of all time" or anything, or is it just that it was a really funny show?
Maybe not, but
I'm not sure of the difference between the two. Do you mean just like, is this a just of any type of comedy great piece of comedy?
Yes, or
is it just a funny TV show?
Is it just like a funny like kids-ish? There's some stuff in there that's not strictly for kids, but it's mostly a kids show.
I think there's some transcending stuff in there, in my opinion.
Does it go beyond it just being a funny kids show to actually being like highly regarded like comedy piece?
I think that one could make the case for that.
Yeah, I think one could make the case, and I think yes, for me at least, yes, it has like definitely been very influential to me.
Inflammatory.
You had the influenza.
Yeah, but I really, really enjoy that show, and all my friends watched it as a kid. So it's hard to say. I mean, you as a kid, if you really like something, then you're
gonna get into who our crushes are this episode.
But yeah,
SpongeBob.
If you like something as a kid, you're definitely biased against it as an adult, and you'll never be able to fairly evaluate it. But
dude, we still quote SpongeBob all the time.
Me and my brother, me and you, like everybody.
Yeah, like the other day at work, I'm pretty sure someone said a SpongeBob quote, and then we got on like a hour-plus long conversation about our favorite SpongeBob episodes, and it was like every episode, and everyone knew the quotes.
Yeah.
Because there's so many like fantastic lines in there that are still funny. Like we'll say it, and like people will still laugh, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's so ridiculous," or "That's so absurd," and it's not because like. I mean, there's no way to prove or like really quantify that it's not nostalgia. But there's a lot of stuff in there that's just really funny writing, like really clever writing.
Yeah,
for all ages.
I think we're kind of beating it over the head at this point, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, my parents thought SpongeBob was funny. Get at me.
Yeah,
don't
I also
at me.
had like an adult.
Dane's parents are comedy critics, so
one of my parents' good friends that we would like go visit. He's like a filmmaker, and he's like an all-around cool guy that we would hang out with sometimes, like his family. Because they have a son that's my brother's age. Anyways, we would hang out with them and watch SpongeBob, and he would always laugh super hard, and that would like make it all the more funny for us. So it was definitely a family like bonding thing also amongst like me, friends, and family. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Anyways, I was gonna say that as a kid that was a big thing, but as an adult I really like the Marvel Netflix series. Like, I don't know if they're objectively like the best shows, but I have the best time watching them, and I've watched every single episode of every single one except I'm working on Iron Fist right now.
Quickly,
I haven't
which
watched
one's
the
your
whole thing.
favorite?
Daredevil season 2 probably. I don't think
2.
Yeah, I don't think
is that a
they're
popular
all
opinion,
equal.
would you say?
I think most
no.
people would probably say season 1.
I don't
Daredevil.
know. I don't know. I really like Punisher, and I think the stakes are raised. I'm not a huge fan of Elektra, but I mean, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean it as in she's an it. Excuse me.
That's good to clarify.
No, but yeah, I really like the Punisher. It's really brutal. It's really just all those shows are very consumable and fun, and like just a fun time to watch. at the end of the night winding down.
See somebody beat the crap out of some people.
Yeah, even Iron Fist, I wanted to say that Iron Fist is not as bad as people are making it seem. Like, you may have heard a lot of bad things about Iron Fist, or like at least
The trailer looks silly.
panned. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard that it has the thing that makes me angry is that I heard that it has a lot of shaky cam and poor choreography for the action, and it all revolves around him being a badass action man. So I feel like if it doesn't nail, because like I only watched the first maybe like 5 episodes of Daredevil, and I found it really hard to get through because I didn't like Foggy.
Yeah.
And I
he
really
gets a little better as it goes.
I really didn't like the dynamic of him like being the party animal, like going out on the bar with what's her name, like the doctor or whatever, and like or the girl like all that kind of
girl.
stuff,
I hate to say,
like all
but
that kind of
she's the
stuff.
girl.
Yeah, whatever. Like she's just pointless. But the action, but the action in Daredevil was awesome. There's that hallway scene, the one take of him like just kicking ass in that apartment complex. So that stuff was cool. But if they can't have something like that in Iron Fist, which is, it seems like a somewhat lesser known character, they can't really rely on like heavy story beats or anything with him. They have to rely on action, and
They don't have to.
They don't have to, but I feel like that's something that like people could instantly grasp.
Yeah, it's the common theme amongst all of the Marvel series so far is like action scenes.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, and I heard that they haven't handled it very well in Iron Fist. Which,
Speaking of really terrible, like terribly filmed action scenes, just last weekend I saw like the ending sequence of the most recent Resident Evil movie, the final chapter.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
It's absolutely the worst film like action scene I've
where
ever
did you
seen in my
see it?
life. At a friend's house.
okay.
We were watching it because he said, "Oh, it's actually kind of all right." I watched it. In the span of 15 seconds, there's probably 30 cuts of like people like jumping around. Like there's the classic, I'm using quotes here, classic laser hallway scene that's in every single Resident Evil film to date.
Stop.
It's never not been in a Resident Evil film.
Stop,
It looks
stop.
so bad. There's so many cuts for the tiniest amount of time. It's so bad.
This is an even further tangent. Have you guys seen the Taken 3 clip of him?
Yeah, it's
climbing
him
a
jumping the
fence?
fence.
It's like as bad as that, if not worse.
Brian
There's
Mills
so
jumps a
many.
fence where it's like a 20-second long clip with like
There's
55 takes.
Yeah, there's actually like at least 20 cuts of him jumping over this fence from different angles. It
Of
just,
like his
switches
of his
angles
hands
13
and feet
times.
and like man,
Every
it's really
minute
bad.
detail is caught on camera,
man,
and they
it's bad,
actually
it's
use
bad.
a lot of it.
it's like exhausting to watch.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Watch the Resident Evil. We have to watch the Resident Evil scene because it's so
It's
bad.
honestly epic.
It's,
Can we-
It's hilarious, but it's so bad.
Can we find that on YouTube? Can
Yeah,
we watch that
I'm sure
later
someone put it
tonight?
up.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
Let's make that
But yeah,
priority.
so
And
that's
then
my
very
favorite film.
The very last thing I want to say is that I really want to mention the show Nathan For You. Have you guys watched that?
yes.
I love
This is
Nathan
an
For You.
incredible show. It's
Nathan
one
For
of the
You
best
is amazing.
modern comedy shows, and because it's not scripted. I mean, some parts of it are scripted. Obviously, like what he says, a lot of it is scripted.
But it appears to be mostly unscripted, which is the funny part.
It appears. So what he
with
does
the other people, with the real people that he's talking to, it's definitely unscripted.
He's in the
100%.
real world and like kind of trying to influence things in the
Yeah.
real world, and he has had an impact on real world events. Like he created Dumb Starbucks. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of
yeah.
that.
That was like
But-
one of the first ones, first season, right?
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't know if it
early
was the first
exactly.
one, but
it wasn't like the first one. But
It was like the third episode or something, like really early.
Maybe.
But yeah, anyway.
So what he does is he goes to a business and they're having troubles or whatever, and he tries to think of a plan to like help out their business. And it's always something silly
It's
and
the
weird.
most absurd plan of all time.
No,
it kind of sometimes is a good idea.
Yeah.
But the way he lays it out has like actual reasoning behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and
it's
he'll-
like a logical plan, but it's also
But the
funny.
details are just so ridiculous.
And
that,
the
like,
execution
no,
of it
there's
is
no way.
always over
It
the top
is.
and
It's
absurd.
So funny.
Yeah.
And
That's one of
his
my favorite
personality.
comedy shows of all time.
It's
honestly.
incredible. And
It's-
his
it's
personality
hilarious.
is so deadpan. He's just like,
He's so
I
good."
got this thing to do this thing, and then we were gonna do this thing, but then this thing, and then like he's kind of like droning on monotone, but he is an improv comedian, and he just like plays off of other people so
he's
brilliantly.
master class in this
Dude,
show. It's
there's
so good.
there's that one. It's not Dumb Star. Is it Dumb Starbucks? There's a scene where he's like has an encounter with a lawyer, who like he's trying to get to sign a piece of paper.
I think that's Dumb
and then
Starbucks.
and then like they get into like a fight, like a near altercation where he like he's like, oh yeah, I just need you to like.
He's like trying to trick this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
To like get the papers back.
And he like rips the paper out of his hand at one point. The guy like, man,
Oh,
it gets so like awkward to watch.
Yeah, it's really awkward, but he's so funny.
Ah, yeah, dude, I love Nathan For You.
I will say Nathan For You is like one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. It's
Oh, for
hilarious.
sure. I really think the Eric Andre show has its moments.
Eric Andre is like 50-50 for me.
Yeah, there's some
agree.
really funny moments on there. I really like Tim and Eric.
I haven't watched much of Tim
Tim and Eric is great. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there with comedy
I
nowadays.
think we should probably move on because we're taking up a lot of time.
It's true.
fair.
I'll very quickly say mine. I think.
Shit, I forgot it.
Yeah, just forget about me. No, let's just move on.
Nah,
Nah, it's all right.
No, that's fine.
Mine. I don't watch a whole lot of TV per se, but recently, this is like in the last year, I watched an anime that I'll put up there as one of my favorite media TV things of all time. It's Neon Genesis, Evangelion, if you prefer. I think that show transcends like anime. Like the themes in that show are like fantastic, and it's just a super interesting story.
Yeah.
That as time goes on and I watch more and more, like it's the show itself is about a young boy. He's a teenager, I think.
Shinji.
You
named
say he's a
Shinji
baby
Ikari.
boy.
He's not a baby. He is a
A
pure
baby
innocent
boy.
child.
Thank you.
He's not
Either say
innocent.
baby boy or don't.
He is a teen, I think. It's
He's a
never,
teen
it's never
baby boy.
confirmed. He's a teenager, but it's his. He's basically pushed into the role of hero of the world, as is the case for most Japanese shonen, like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, that kind of thing. But the interesting part about this show is that it kind of flips that whole genre on its head a lot, and it's a mech show as well, which is a plus for me. And so as time has gone on, I've seen more and more mech shows, and it makes watching this one, like as I look back on it, like to see how like revolutionary it was and how much it actually flipped the whole like genre on its head is kind of impressive. Because this is like a type of story that's kind of in like US stuff too. Like this kid is like the superhero and like he loves saving the world. It's really fun. Look, he gets all the special powers and stuff. And it's like, well, what if this kid who gets like chosen is not like, he doesn't want to do this? Like this is like actually painful for him. He doesn't want to be part of this. Like,
Yeah, what if it's like a heavy psychological
it's a really
like burden
fascinating
on him?
look on it. Lots of psychological like horror. It's kind of like it reminds me a lot now of Apocalypse Now, of like the scenes kind of when he's in the boat just like drifting down the river, just like thinking, and like he's very sad down the river. In Neon Genesis, there's like a lot of scenes of him on a train just like thinking and stuff. Yeah,
But then
it's
even
super
as-
well written, the
Yeah.
action is crazy. It's like profoundly disturbing in a lot of parts due to like the sound design and stuff. It's just really great.
And there's just a lot of cool moments where, like, yeah, like you in the mech shows, it always shows them like jumping in the robot, and it's like, all right, let's go
Like,
kick some
let's go
ass, and it's
beat
playing
people
like rock and roll or whatever. And this one, like, there's a lot of scenes of him getting in the mech, and it's just like his inner monologue of being like, here we go again, just like
Yeah.
another useless day,
Or
and
like,
like
the common joke is like, Shinji, get in the robot, because he never wants to get in the robot and fight. And it's like, well, why doesn't he just get in the robot and do the shit he needs to do? And then as the story progresses, you see, he shouldn't be in the robot.
you
anymore.
realize
he cannot
that
be
it's
in that
taking
robot.
like
Don't get
it's
in the robot.
taking a toll on him, yeah.
And yeah, it's really fascinating.
And it's
Highly
also
enjoy it.
sort of like a car accident that you can't look away from, because as you get further and further, you know, like it's really unsettling. There's a lot of like the music
really
changes,
creepy.
and you as it goes on, you're like, man, this is kind of fucked up. Like he's not doing
Yeah,
all right.
Like the more you know about the underlying like story, the less you want him to actually like be a part of the story.
Yeah,
Because
and
it's
like
just bad.
yeah, and like it's weird because like when they have the action scenes, they're always really cool, but as they go towards the end, they get a lot more violent. They get like
Yeah.
really brutal, and you start getting to the point where you're like, almost as the viewer, you feel bad that you're looking forward to the action, because you know that it's gonna involve like this kid just being like tormented.
Yeah. I like shows that make you feel something, whether that's feel really happy or feel really bad. And Neon Genesis,
It has a
makes
little
you
bit of
feel-
both.
A little bit, but it's mostly a story of like this boy who is just on the bad end of things, and it makes you feel not great. But it's
Yeah.
an interesting look, and something a lot of shows just don't like do at all, is like have a bunch of really flawed characters and make a really interesting story about it. So I would recommend that
Good
to
stuff.
anyone.
Pretty heavy.
It's heavy stuff, but good.
Yeah.
Cool. I won't watch it, but that's
Thank you.
fine.
Thank you.
No, it's a good pitch.
It's really good.
Yeah, one of my favorites, and it gets better as time goes on. It was made in like 95 or 93 or something like that.
Man.
And it's very progressive for its time.
I can only imagine watching that at the time because the animation
It's really good. It
is
holds
quite
up.
good. It's really good.
Well, holds up better than a lot of things today.
I would say it still looks really good at parts.
It looks real great.
Yeah.
It's made by Gynax. Probably don't know what that means, but they're popular. I think they are actually disbanded and formed a different animation company, but
Animation
very
is on
popular.
point.
It's great. Okay. Those were our favorite TV stuff. Shall we move on? Unless anyone else has anything to add.
No.
No,
we-
it's probably good.
Should we move on to games?
We
skip
should.
straight to games here.
Let's skip
Yeah.
straight to the gaming.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
What we got on the
Have you
docket?
guys been gaming?
I've been gaming.
You've been gaming.
I'm a gamin'. I've been gaming.
All right.
We be gaman. Yeah, I most recently, I guess we can just jump right in.
Just go.
Go ahead.
I most recently, as of Tuesday, Monday night, I bought Injustice 2.
Nice.
The new,
For the console or for the mobile?
Both.
it's on both. It's free on the mobile.
But it's
So-
not the
Because I
complete-
remember
it's
you
not the same
mentioned
game.
mobile
It's
in
not
your-
the same
Yeah,
game.
it's not the same
Yeah.
game. You get rewards and like stuff syncs between it, I guess, to a certain extent. It's not like that special. But I played a lot of the first Injustice both on mobile and on console when it first came out. On the Xbox, I guess I was on the 360, and then I also played it on the PS4 when it came out with like the Ultimate Edition with all the DLC. Quick disclaimer, not amazing at fighting games, or at least like haven't dedicated a lot of time to them. And I'm also not the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat and its fighting mechanics, as I've realized as time goes
Yeah.
on. But for some reason with Injustice, it's more palatable for me because even though I don't know like every end of the DC universe, I can still grasp on and be like, oh, it'll be cool to collect like the alternate costumes for Batman or like Robin or whatever it is. And then the storyline was actually cool for the first one, especially because it was based on like a comic series.
And the
same-
storylines for these games were developed by NetherRealm.
Yeah.
The same studio that made Mortal Kombat. The story, like, campaign mode for these games are always really, really long. Like, and
Yeah.
they're really good too. Like,
Yeah, they're usually
super
pretty awesome.
cinematic, and if you like don't
That's cool.
want to play online, like, it's a perfectly valid purchase to like buy and play these ones offline because the single player is awesome.
It's like 20, 30 hours, something like that.
It's
I mean,
long.
maybe it's
I
like
don't know if it's that long, but it's real long.
it's pretty long for a fighting game. It's unheard of. But this one, I'll keep it short and sweet so we can move on to you guys. But this new Injustice, awesome. Really cool game. The graphics for a fighting game are insane. I am playing on a PS4 Pro, but I've seen like
Privileged.
gameplay.
Puppet.
I am a puppet. No, but I've seen gameplay and like videos online of it on like just a stock Xbox or PS4. It still looks really, really good. The facial animations are uncanny.
That's what I've heard.
They look like, I haven't started the story mode yet because I haven't had a lot of time, but I've been doing like single fights, and then there's this multiverse mode that I'll explain really quickly. But yeah, the facial animations like in the fight intros and even like in game are just insane. Like
Yeah.
it looks like a movie pretty much. It's really weird. But yeah, I don't know, they've done a lot of things. They've done like character movement and just in battle is increased by like a certain percentage. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's basically just quicker navigation around the map. But then they've done other things where like you have like a super meter, which is pretty typical in fighting games where it fills up and you can do like a finishing move or whatever, or like a powerful move. But in this one, and even in like Street Fighter and stuff, you can do like meter burns where like you can tap like the right trigger or something and you'll do like an extra hit or like juggle them or something like that. But now they have it where if you get like stuck in a juggle combo or something, you can hit that button and you can evade in midair and like recover, or like as soon as you hit the ground, you can hit a button and instantly get back up and chain a combo into them or something. So if you're bad at fighting games, they give you ways of
Feel good.
to feel like you can counter even if you're not doing like crazy combos.
Yeah.
You feel like if you're getting fucked by someone and they're just knocking you around the map and you're just like,
They're
what the
busting
hell is
ass.
this guy
They're
doing?
busting
Yeah,
ass.
if he's busting your ass with a paddle, you
something
have
you
the
can do.
chance to get out of this, and it's not hard. You just hold like the analog stick up and hit the right trigger on PS4 at least, and then you get out of the combo. You have like a brief moment of invulnerability. So there's stuff like that that's cool in the fighting mechanics, but then they've also added a loot system to this game, where as you fight and level up, you get different gear to equip your characters with.
I like loot, so this is like super interesting.
There's like 30 characters in the game or something like
Yeah.
that, or like 20 something. So you get a lot of loot all the time, constant string of loot. You get like, of course, loot boxes that you can purchase with real money, I think,
Yes.
if you want to. Or they actually, I've played so far, I must have gotten like 30 of them so far. Like you get a pretty decent number of these
Doling
things.
them out at a healthy rate, sounds like.
Oh yeah, and if you play mobile, you can get some more if you have an iPhone.
We'll be doing that, but
yeah,
I appreciate the offer.
yeah, but they have this mode called Multiverse, which similar to Mortal Kombat, like the tower mode where you go up and you fight people.
Yeah, it's like different like modifiers and stuff.
Yeah, so they have Multiverse mode, but the way they set it up is they're like, oh yeah, in the first Injustice, remember when you had to go like to the other universe to get like alternate universe comic weird stuff Batman? Now there's a bunch of other multiverses out there. So, like, it's set up, you basically look at, like, a galaxy map, and there's a bunch of different planets, but they're all, like, universes. And you go there, and it'll have, like 5 quests or whatever, and each quest has, like, 4 battles or something in it. And it'll all be people from, like, the Batman, like, Red Sun universe, or, like, Batman, like, Darkest Night, or, like, some obscure, like, Flash thing or something like that. And then as you fight, you get specific gear sets
From like that
that series potentially. Cool. Like towards, so like if you go to this certain universe, it's like, oh, if you do this one, you have a high chance of getting like this helmet or whatever for Batman or whatever it is. And so also, if you're not really good at fighting games, it has like a loot loop, if you will, that you can just find yourself in, like Destiny or Diablo, where you're like, oh man, I gotta get like this gear set, or I gotta get like this like set of gauntlets because it fits my like abilities that I'm trying to max out or something.
That's interesting to me because I've never been like you. I've never been big on the online for Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm stuff. Like even the last Injustice, I played a little bit online, but also their online play was generally like really laggy.
I think it's better now.
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah.
I hope that's the case because I would like to play this game online, but if it's shite, then
it's a really fun game.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's cool so far, and the presentation is just the whole thing is just fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
Definitely gonna pick that up soon then. What about you, Culture? What have you been playing?
So I've been playing a little bit more Zelda.
All right.
Beat the first or the third.
Beasts?
I think I beat the third Divine Beast.
Ooh.
Which ones have you done? You did the Zora,
then Goron, then
Did you do the desert?
Guido?
Or you did Rito?
The flying birdman.
You went to the Jersey Shore and you fought Guidos?
That's weird.
I fought the situation
That's
in
strange.
Zelda is very expensive.
in a ring.
Weird. That must be the
In a
Snooki
cage
DLC?
match.
Rage in the Cage, Hell in a Cell.
More of a good game. Nothing really much to say about that. Yeah. We played some more Outlast today.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of that, we're gonna be putting out some Let's Plays of that. I think on this channel, on this YouTube channel. So
did you determine whether or not you want to?
I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna release the first 7 right off the bat on the day that we release this podcast, and then I think we're gonna start maybe doing one a day or like one every other day or something.
They're only
like
about like 10 minutes each usually, right?
10 minutes each. But yeah, we played some more today, so look forward to that.
So it's mostly you and me, and then Jordan came in on this episode.
Guest.
Yeah.
Not
necessarily I think we were just doing it when you were at work or something.
Yeah. Or we just started before Jordan was available. So hopefully we'll get as many people as possible for the next playthrough or Let's Plays or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's going pretty well. It's a fun little game to play to get a reaction out of you, and it's entertaining and stuff like that. It's not like a incredible
classic
game.
but
I will say that I would only play this game with you guys.
It's fair.
Yeah. Personally.
I would say that as well from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a whole lot of it, but it didn't really seem too great from what I've seen, but I've only saw about 30 minutes of it, so
yeah.
Can't really say one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But the main thing that I want to talk about today is I got Farpoint because I have a PSVR, and that is basically the PSVR game. Like, it's exclusive, I believe, and it's been touted as the main game for a really long time by PlayStation. And it's like, all right, we have Batman Arkham VR. We have like
which is no longer exclusive.
yeah, one other thing, and then
Resident Evil.
yeah, but that wasn't like exclusive. On like the back of the box, they have like 3 things. I can't remember what the third thing is.
The VR is exclusive to PSVR though, right?
The VR is exclusive to PSVR.
Like
What
the
do you mean?
VR experience in Resident Evil 7 is only on
Yeah, I
PSVR.
don't
That's
think
correct.
you can play that on.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is
Oculus
exclusive
or-
to PSVR.
So that was their first big thing that they were hammering on their social media feeds.
One might say it's still the biggest thing on PSVR.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Sorry, I totally cut you off.
But anyways, it's they weren't like advertising that at the beginning. That kind of like came later,
Yeah.
but they were at the very beginning being like, okay, Farpoint is going to come out in 2017, and that's like a really big deal. So I got it, feeling like I needed to get it, and I got the bundle with this light controller that you guys can see in the video that Kermie is holding right now. But yeah, it's a gun controller. It's a light gun, kind of, and
It's a medium weight gun.
So we all held this thing, and we all don't really know about that.
The first the first time I picked it up, like the first thing I said was like, "Oh, this is like weird." Like,
Yeah, it
this
doesn't feel good
right
upon
in your
first
hand, which is not good for a game
pickup.
where you're holding a gun the entire time.
The main thing I said was it doesn't feel very good as a gun, doesn't feel very good as a controller.
I mean,
the worst of both worlds.
yeah, it's bad. I mean, the first like when I first showed up at your house today, I saw it on the couch. I'm like, oh, I'll pick this up. I picked it up, and instantly I was like,
Like, I'm
Something's wrong with
feeling
this.
in
yeah. I
my
was like,
stomach.
I even said to Colton, I'm like, something doesn't feel right. Like something just like doesn't feel good about this controller.
yeah, it's not the best designed gun.
Absolutely
Peripheral?
not. Peripheral,
Yeah, it's just like
It could be better. It should be better for if it's being shipped as a bundle with a like game specifically for this. Like this is being touted as like the way to play the game. It needs to be better. And it's
yeah,
really
I
not
totally
great.
agree. That's a good way to put it
It
because
should
yeah,
look better because it doesn't look great either. I mean,
it doesn't like I'm getting a real like Wii vibe from this
Yeah.
thing.
It's looking kind of Wii-ish, and then it's supposed to kind of look futuristic and simplistic, which it
I get
attempts
it.
to be.
It does have a future look to it. It's got that clean like white plastic look.
Yeah,
to it,
it
but
looks like something out of Walt Disney's like House of
yeah,
the Future.
but it's not the best.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't feel that great.
How is Farpoint the game?
The game, I've only played it for like maybe an hour and a half. It is fine.
So I don't own.
What the hell?
Holy shit!
Whoa.
There's a sound outside, just so you guys know. We
Was
have
that
a window
outside? I
open.
thought that was the light. We might be getting poltergeisted right now. I'm
That
not sure
was-
what's happening.
I'm pretty sure
That was
it was
kind of scary.
That was scary.
That was scarier than
I
anything
think
I
it-
saw in Outlast 2. Holy cow.
I think
Jesus
it-
Christ!
So there are many types of animals in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Some being bunnies. There are like raccoons. There are cats. There are
Yeah, cheetahs, wolves.
no
wolves.
But there are like birds and stuff. So
That could have been a bird.
I hope we can kind of pick that up on Mike.
I think Mike might have gotten it. I feel like
Mike,
Mike is our cameraman.
thank you.
Mike. Or they would see our reaction in the video. But yeah, that was some weird shit in there.
I feel like
Anyways.
people in like the next neighborhood over might have heard that.
That wasn't
not
that
really. No,
loud.
it wasn't.
No.
that loud. No, it
It was like a
wasn't. It
weird,
was.
I love how you
Screech.
backtracked immediately. I didn't even have to.
No, it wasn't.
fight you
It
on
wasn't that loud, but it was like a shrill, like you
Yeah.
know, shrieking. noise.
Anyways,
Okay. Yeah. So okay, it's a fine game. Were you asking a question?
I was gonna say something. So my like knowledge of VR games is purely based on watching other people play VR. I don't own any of them.
You did try
Same.
PSVR.
I did. Oh, yeah, that's true. I did play your PSVR, which I found to be fun. I didn't get a whole lot of experience with it, but a lot of the games I've seen on there are like rail shooters or like just like
Experiences.
shooting gallery games where you stand still and like you're just shooting like targets as they pop up as they come. Is this game more than that?
So the core of the game, like moving around, shooting stuff, is basically a rail shooter. You get down on this alien planet, and you're walking forward, kind of like Doom. If you guys have played Doom, you just like walk forward, and then there's this planet in front of you, and there's like walls of rock on both sides. So it's
Yeah.
basically you're
You're
walking
being
forward.
funneled into
Yeah, you're
it,
being
yeah.
funneled through this area. But it's not like Doom, where they're like
It's like open
levels
up.
that you
it's
can
fun.
go all around. It doesn't
Okay.
open up. It's kind of
that's-
just funneling you, and it's usually just forward, because here's the other thing, is that the options for customization in the menu are so limited. There are like 3 options in the controller menu to change VR settings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One of them is the ability to turn like left and right without, like, turn your body left and
God
right.
damn it.
Yeah.
And by default, it's off.
So you just are moving forward and looking forward.
And yeah, or you can like move, or you can move back while looking backwards, while turning your entire body around backwards.
But you can't like move like the
Man.
By
character?
default, you can't turn your body like
That's
to the left or right by
crazy.
using the stick. You can like move your face to look over there, but you
Yeah.
can't
Oh, I
actually
see.
Can you
by
like?
default do that.
Is
you
it like
can turn
moving
on.
like a tank, like a warthog control, where you can like look like forward and like move? Can you like walk in a circle by looking like, or can you only move like back and forward? Can you,
You
move like
can-
sideways? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you can move in any direction using the stick, like, but
Okay.
you're still looking forward.
Okay, that's weird.
So it's omnidirectional movement, but you're looking in a direction.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's a little weird, but I did turn on the setting where you can turn your body. So
Did that
it's
make
like-
you motion sick?
it actually didn't. So the weird thing is that this game doesn't really make me that motion sick, and I think
Huh.
the reason is because I think what causes the motion sickness is when stuff is going by your face, like pretty close to your face, and this game is very open. So I think moving around predictably and it being a big open space is actually fine. Because in Resident Evil, I had a lot of issues with motion sickness, and I think it might have been because the walls were really close and like stuff was going by me like really close to my face, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." So
To me, it always seemed like that the motion sickness would occur when like you are standing, like your body is standing still, and then like if you move with the controller, like you start moving, but you know your body isn't moving,
Yeah.
so then you get that weird like disjointedness. You're like, oh, this isn't right. Like I'm not moving, but I actually am, and then
Or
you
you're
get
really
sick.
high up in the air, like when I played Minecraft on Oculus for the first time, they had it in creative mode where you could just like if you haven't played Minecraft creative mode, you can just fly anywhere, like as
Yeah,
higher.
that's the same thing. Like you're not moving, but you're moving the controller, and you're not controlling your
Yeah,
body.
so I'm moving the controller. I'm like 1,000 feet in the air, looking down at like mountains and stuff, and it's Minecraft, right? So I know it's not real, but like obviously, because it's just like pixelated blocks. But then like, yeah, when I'm flying around, like looking down in all directions, but moving left and looking right, or
Yeah.
like moving up and down and like not moving, then my stomach is just like,
yeah,
and then I
especially
just-
if you're turning your head and looking around while you're moving in a direction, that can get.
and it has that weird like, it's not 1-to-1, so it's like that weird sway. I don't know how to explain it like without like playing VR, but
Yeah.
it's
So
odd.
this game didn't make me very motion sick, which I'm happy about. And the gun controller works fairly well, other than just how clunky it feels.
Yeah,
Within the game, it actually works pretty well.
that's good to hear at least.
And the main gameplay so far is you're trying to find your other 2 space people that have crash landed, and you can see like holographic transmissions from them, and that's the main story. So it's a fair amount more story than a normal VR game, which
Right.
is probably why they're kind of billing
Doesn't
it as a
feel
full
like
game.
a demo at this point. It feels like a real game.
It feels like a real game only because of the story elements that they're
Yeah.
trying to inject. So
Okay.
that's my first impressions. And then the actual gameplay of shooting stuff, there's 2 types of enemies that have come out so far. One is like little spider baby boys that come out, and all they do is they scurry out. They're actually kind of like good AI, because they'll hide behind rocks, and like you can be rotating around a rock and they'll like also rotate around a rock, so
Oh,
you
that's
can't
kinda
really
cool.
shoot them, which is kind of cool. But what they'll do is they'll just skitter out, and then they'll just jump straight at your face, and it looks
Oh, they're
exactly
head crabs.
it looks exactly like House of the Dead, where like something
Yeah.
will jump at you. So that's
That's awesome.
a little bit of a like diss, a little bit, because it's kind of like a rail shooter, but it also works really well because it's in VR. You're like, I don't want that to touch
Like,
my
I don't
face.
want that on my face.
Yeah.
So that's cool, but also repetitive.
Yeah, I feel like when you said 2 enemies, I was like, oh, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
In the first hour, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more types of enemies, but then the other type of enemy is just this big boy that will shoot balls at you, and you can shoot them as they're flying through the air. So it's clearly like kind of a VR like
Or you could dodge them.
gimmick. Yeah, you can easily dodge them, or you can shoot them out of the air, and then you can shoot these guys from a very long distance.
Okay.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that seems fun.
Probably, I still want more from VR. I feel like that doesn't sound like the VR game that sells
This is
VR
not
to me.
this is not the killer app of VR.
Yeah.
And I would
It's
say
unfortunate.
Resident Evil pretty much is
Yeah.
the killer app of VR.
I
at this
feel
point.
I don't own a VR like system, but I wish I did to play Resident Evil, because I feel like a lot of people when they played that the first time in VR said it was like the greatest experience of their life, and I wish I could have experienced that, because it's not the same playing it again. I know the scares, so
Yeah.
it doesn't hit you the same way, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's not a... Yeah, I said it's not a killer app. It's fine. I'm going to play it more, but I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts as you continue.
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
It just happened again. I don't know.
Is
It
that
might,
I swear that's
it
the
might
light.
be the light, yeah.
Is there like a bug flying in there? What's
Whoa,
happening?
that's
Was that you just being scared? What was that?
Are you okay?
it was kind of scary. It's like it sounds like a bat or
It
like
sounds like it's like
sounds
dripping
really
like
weird.
hot lava or something. It's like hitting the
It
ground.
might
like
be the
burning.
light.
Is it,
Let me just
are
check
we
and make
burning
sure the
paper?
light. All right.
Guys, we're
We
gonna
should
be
just
on
move
fire.
on to the next topic while
Okay.
I do this.
while the house is still
Actually, did you say
intact.
what you're doing or what you were playing?
No, but I don't have that much to say about it anyways. I've just still been playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I still haven't hit the chicken dinner winner, but I will. I get close.
We got to second place.
We've gotten to second place a few times. It's still never quite hit it. I've been playing more Prey. I've really liking that game. The start of Prey like starts with a huge like story bit, and then slowly like drizzles out story as you go on, and then I just hit another point where like a ton of characters get introduced, and you actually see a lot more people, and that's pretty cool. And it's been exciting.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Now, I think this will probably end up being our final topic, maybe, because I think it might be a bit of a long one.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
One more.
So, another question here for you guys. I want you guys to dig deep and find the best ideas you have here. The question is, and also this is kind of our episode 0 had a question of what our favorite gaming moment was as a small child. We're flipping this one on its head, and we're asking, what's our favorite gaming moment as not a small child? Do you guys have any right off the bat? I have a couple in my head already.
Yeah, you should go ahead. I think.
Yeah, I want to hear like I have one in my head, but I'm not sure if it quite counts.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so like these aren't what I'm gonna say right now is not my favorite gaming moment, but I think it's a hilarious story to
So
me.
it doesn't answer the question.
And it's one of my favorite moments.
Oh,
of
so
all
you're a
time.
goddamn liar.
It's one of my favorite moments of all time. So back in a few years ago, this was in my junior-ish year, sophomore year, I played a lot of World of Warcraft. And so this story takes place...
I know this one.
World of Warcraft...
Is this where you poop socked it?
No, but it's damn close. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
no.
It's in the same vein. It's
Oh,
not.
no.
It's not fecal matter or urine, but it's a weird thing. Anyways, World of Warcraft.
It's another bodily
people
fluid.
know
Thank
the
you.
name of World of Warcraft. What they might not know is inside this game, inside Warcraft, you can do these dungeons. You group up with people. You have a set team. You have 3 DPS, which are your damage dealers. You have your tank, who soaks all the damage and is the attention of all the bad guys. Then you have a healer. You need this group of people to do pretty much any dungeon in the game, and I was playing. I think Dane. I think I might have been playing with you.
Yeah.
We were going through a dungeon. My character was one of the damage dealers.
Yeah.
I'm a paladin, so I had kind of heavy armor, a little bit self-supporting, but not by itself very much.
Yeah, I think I was a DPS also on that
Yeah.
one.
And so we're fighting a boss, and generally the tactics are the tank will fight the boss, keep him or her or it distracted, and the
Yeah.
healer heals everyone else. Well, this fight went south pretty quickly, and our tank died, another DPS died, and everyone was dead, I'm pretty sure, except for me and the healer. And I was sitting there. I was like, well, I think I can actually like take this guy down. If this guy helps me enough, if I do enough damage, I can like out damage this guy and not die, and we have to restart. So, as that happened, I was furiously mashing every button on my keyboard, doing my rotation, like just absolutely going furious on the keyboard. And then after the fight ended, or like just before the fight was ending, I was like, I'm actually gonna do this, guys. This is actually happening. I was deep in the throes of it. I was super intense. My nose just started bleeding as I was playing the game, and like I'm just sitting there, just mashing on my keyboard. I was like, no, this can't be happening right now. My nose is just full of blood, just going down on my keyboard. I was like, this is the worst ever. But also, I was so intense. I was like, I have to beat this. So I just my nose was bleeding. The boss died, and my face was just covered in blood by the end, and it felt awesome because I just worked so hard that my nose started bleeding. It was just so intense. It was great.
That's amazing.
We won. It was one of the greatest moments of all time because it's not supposed to happen. If your tank dies, the rest of your team dies, you're gonna go down. But instead, me and this healer, we did it, and it was awesome.
Did you already say what DPS meant?
Yeah, it was a damage dealer.
Okay. It stands for damage per second.
Yeah. So that's one of them.
That's pretty great.
It was awesome.
That's a great story.
Felt bad afterwards when I was like, shit, I need to clean this up. I'm a mess. I'm bleeding.
You threw away those shirts. You didn't need them.
Literally,
that was a nightmare.
You literally gave your sweat, tears, and blood.
Because like when you're playing on DPS, you usually have like a rotation of like abilities you press like one after another to
so
like,
it's like
maximize
1, 2, 3,
your
4,
efficiency.
or
Yeah.
it is,
So I'm like mashing them just over and over again, just hitting them so hard and fast, and then I just like my nose just erupted in blood.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Good stuff.
It's kind of like an anime when they see like a hot girl or whatever.
They're like, whoa!
Except it was me just being awesome.
And they like fly.
I was just being awesome at video games. It was sweet.
Nice.
Good stuff.
So that's one of my
Wow, who knew your greatest gaming memory is you killing it at a game? Wow.
And then
You're
killing
so good.
myself with my nose. Well, to be fair, most of it was our healer helping me.
You lost a lot of blood.
It was a shining moment.
That's great.
Dane, do you have one? I honestly still need time to think of one.
I don't have anything that like carried over into the real world. I didn't spill blood for any game. But I guess this is more broad, but some of my favorite gaming memories, especially as not a child, but like, junior high, very nostalgic childhood memories, one would say, of Halo 3.
Yeah.
I think that was probably like that and Call of Duty 4 were around the same time, but mainly Halo 3 was like the pinnacle of like kids our age that we knew, like not necessarily like best friends, but just people we knew, all playing with each other online. Like, yeah, every like Friday night or like some night, Saturday night maybe on the weekend, like everyone would be on Halo 3 playing Halo 3. Like I think the party max size was like 16 players or something like that. I want to say maybe 20. I think it was 16, and we would max it out like every weekend. Like people like playing custom games, big team battle, like social matchmaking. I remember like every time we would go over to each other's houses, like for like a sleepover or like just to hang out and play games. It was always Halo 3. It was always split screen. You would hop online with like 3 of your friends as guests, get into Warthog. Just some of the most insane things have happened on there, like on the voice chat with random people online, like just random things with just us have happened, and like split screen battles, like hundreds and hundreds of hours in Halo 3. Hundreds of hours.
Fond memories of junior high school playing online.
So many.
Of
like
Call of Duties, the Halos.
Yeah, Call of Duty like later
on
on, but Halo 3 like at the peak of Halo 3, I think that was probably my favorite like multiplayer. Some of my favorite to this day. There's too many to go into, and not all of them are that exciting to talk about on a podcast. But like most, if not all, of my favorite gaming multiplayer memories took place in Halo 3 probably. And it was just so good. Like at a certain point, after maybe you've played like Team Slayer enough, or like maybe you've done like Lone Wolves by yourself, or like Big Team Battle, or whatever it is, like that was just the tip of the iceberg, because then there was like a whole nother game essentially with just custom games.
Yeah.
Like I would make a lot of Forge maps for like Infection. I made a lot of Infection maps that I really like to like. It's like a creative way to like just have fun in a shooter, which is nice. It's not all about like just killing each other. You can make really cool like racetrack maps.
The
like,
custom games of Halo 3 were like some of like the best. Like I didn't play Halo 3
so
all
inventive.
that much online. I definitely did play competitively a little bit, but the custom games were really fun. Like there's so many weird like jumping maps and puzzles and just like the racing stuff.
There's the
so
most
weird and
ridiculous things in there, and like that I would say like that's a pretty influential game in this generation, like for us. Like
Yeah.
that was like a revolutionary game that took the world by storm, and yeah.
Do you think that was the most robust custom games in any console
Yeah.
release?
I would say that
100%.
in any game to date. Like
Really?
even now, like because Halo 5 and 4 and all that stuff still had those custom games like Forge and stuff. And there was never the presence like the online community that Halo 3 had. Halo 3 was like the peak and pinnacle of that, and never reached that moment or like that hype in any of the other games.
Yeah, and even just for video games in general, like the only thing that even comes close to that in my mind that has that like that staying power or that significance is probably Gary's mod on the computer. But that's more like people use that for like internet videos and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like it's much less even about games. But like with Halo 3, like yeah, there's an endless, near limitless supply of content on there.
Of actual games.
Of actual fun games, yeah, of all sorts. Like there's people were so creative on there. You could go on there, they had like websites dedicated to it, multiple websites that were frequented by hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, like of people whose pretty much not job, but like they would dedicate like hours of their life.
Yeah, a lot
To
of those
making,
maps were
like-
like insanely intricate, like
Oh
just
yeah.
beyond what I would ever consider like think is possible in those in that game.
Yeah, and you would go on to like a map
really
that you've
weird.
played hundreds of hours on, and you would be completely transformed. You'd be like, "Wow, I have no idea how this guy even like
Yeah.
made this racetrack map, or how he made like this castle or whatever it is." Like, there's one called like Dig to China, where it's on Foundry, or you can do it on Sandtrap too. They all the different types of maps, but like or Sandbox or whatever it's called, but like. It's literally just like a maze, and you have to use energy swords, and they put like barriers, like wooden pallets or like concrete barriers, and just people have to take these energy swords that you usually use as just like a weapon in the game to like duel each other.
Yeah.
You literally use it to like hit these objects and dig through
your
them
way
while
through.
yeah, you cut your way through like these obstacles, like these barriers that they set up in this maze, while like other people are on like shotgun duty or whatever, and they're stopping the people that like the zombies or whatever that are trying to kill you, and like. That alone has been like some of the most tense like gaming memories.
It's kind of a shame because a lot of that stuff is just not around anymore. Like
It's not.
those game types and like those moments are not gonna happen again unless another game like decides to do that. But I don't think any game will ever be like that robust and that big of a community as Halo 3 was.
It was the community I think that really like made the difference, but it was also that was the first experience like at least I personally had with like just it was just pure fun. Like no matter what
That was the
it
first
really
time you
was.
experienced fun.
Well, no, but like that in
its purest form.
in that way, especially in a shooter, like that would never be in a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
No.
There was
Although
something
that's one of the only other games I've seen custom games in because there's an actual like community for Call of Duty as opposed to some other games.
Yeah, but like in the way of Halo 3 where you can literally just transform
Yeah.
what you think is possible in the
Yeah, of
like
course,
boundaries
not
of the
nearly the
gameplay.
same.
Like yeah. It's Halo 3 is the first one that came to mind.
For sure.
Yeah. Great stuff.
It's a classic.
Love it.
Yeah, so for me, when was your memory, Jordan?
Those I don't want to age myself here, but it was a few years ago. Back
when I was 26.
It was when I was in
No,
high
just
school,
kidding.
so quite
Yeah.
6
And
years
then
ago.
yours was like it was like junior high, right?
Yeah, it was probably like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah. So my memory, I was just gonna go ahead and say like basically last year, there's two different
all
things
of last year.
that were pretty fun. Me and Jordan did a regional tournament of Rocket League, and we placed third in this regional tournament.
Yeah.
It was a regional tournament.
Don't ever let anyone say that it wasn't a regional tournament because it was a regional tournament,
It was a regional tournament.
and we placed third. We placed
There were how many teams? Like
10,
8 to 10 or something like that.
Let's say 10 because that's the biggest number we can probably say without sounding
In the
like liars.
So there were 10 teams in the regional tournament.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are 10 teams that placed and qualified in the regional tournament, and we placed third out of them.
And made our money back.
Yeah, so really it was just a fun time. That was actually, that was a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that we did that. And that was actually PAX weekend. PAX is a convention that we usually go to. And also, my other gaming memory was doing VR for the first time. I did the they had VR free play, and I did the Vive, the HTC Vive. We did some demos, and I wasn't even planning to do this, but we got a little appointment. One of our friends like scheduled an appointment like randomly. They got the hookup or something like that.
They had the deep packs hookup.
Yeah, because you had to like wait in a really long line or like schedule it for this particular area, but this person had like knew someone that got us a hookup.
Their uncle worked at Nintendo.
And so
Yes, their uncle was Shigeru Miyamoto.
Their gunkle worked at
Shigeru.
Nintendo.
Oh no.
Nope.
So-
Nintendo.
Yeah, so I
Don't
played
call me
that,
Miyamoto.
and that was my first time playing VR. Or actually, I played the Oculus in a really crappy game when Oculus was in like its early development stages, so that like barely counts to me. It wasn't that cool, but the Vive was totally dope. I tried it and I really enjoyed it. We played like a Fruit Ninja one. We played one where you're shooting monsters that are coming out at you, and we played a ping pong or like a tennis kind of thing where you hit it against walls that are all around you. You like look all around you and you hit the ball off of the walls in all directions. And I really liked that. Like all the demos, I was in another world. I was transported and I felt good.
Do you think that experience is what made you want to buy?
Yeah,
the
so
PlayStation VR?
that is exactly, as I walked out of that, I was like, okay,
need
how
to
do I
get this.
purchase this? And then I looked, and you need a gaming computer, and it costs $800 for the Vive. So I was like, that's probably not going to happen.
And we
And
dropping
so-
Andre 2 stacks on a VR
Andre
setup.
2 stacks.
So yeah, I started looking at other alternatives, and the PSVR is the cheap yet somewhat quality, or like, high quality VR headset right now. And it's actually in some ways better than the other two. I'll say in terms of like how it looks and comfortability, I'd say it's probably better.
Comfortability, I would say it's definitely up there.
And it definitely looks better. Thank you.
looks
Those blue
the
lights are
coolest.
dope.
Yeah.
And the
It does
white,
look cool.
yeah.
Although I do kind of like the Vive because it looks like you're like a weird spider like future.
Definitely looks like you're a monster. I
pretty
don't know
cool.
if you want
I like
that.
the Vive. The Oculus is too. It's pretty plain.
Oculus
Jane.
is pretty plain, yeah, and it even looks different from what it like originally was. Like, do you
Yeah.
like the new one or the old one better?
Is the new one the one that has the headphones built in with the
Yes.
thing that like? Yeah, that one's fine.
I think I like the old one better actually, but
I don't know. I've only tried the new one.
well, I mean just by look is sorry.
Oh,
I neglected to say that.
I don't think they look different enough to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So I was looking at PSVR, and then they were sold out at the time because it had just come out.
And they had like production issues or something. Right?
Yeah, they didn't. I feel like they said that they made a bunch and they all like sold out, but I think they just didn't really make enough to keep up with demand. And then, it got sold out. And then I had to wait a very long time because I really wanted it. Like this was one of the most. I don't know what you'd even say. Like I was most antsy to purchase this. Like I was every day like. All right, Amazon, hurry it up. Hurry it up, buds. But yeah, I eventually got it. And then and now it's like available everywhere. Like you can walk into Target and buy it. So I feel a little bad about that, but yeah, I don't feel bad about my perch, and it's a fun time. We've had some fun times playing it. So
We've played a lot of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
oh yeah, that's
some
one of the
fun.
best VR games.
That's so fun, actually. Yeah, I like that one.
So yeah.
Good stuff.
Dane, do you have any other ones that are burning a hole in your head?
Nothing jumping out right away. I think over the years, some of my favorite gaming memories have revolved around like. For a while, I've been an early adopter, so I'll just kind of buy whatever console comes out. Just as you could say, I'm a puppet.
Puppetry.
You can say really
I wouldn't
whatever.
have,
You
and
can
I
say
still
whatever.
didn't.
Yeah, you can say really whatever you want, but there's something cool about being boots on the ground with a new console. Like it's that feeling is a little unmatched. And most recently with the Switch, it was another exciting moment to be able to pick up Zelda. First off, Zelda is of course amazing, but it felt so cool to be able to take that to work. and like on my lunch break be playing Zelda and like eating my sandwich or whatever, and then people would come in, they're like, oh shit, is that the Switch? And like there's just something cool where like it just brings people to, and not like to brag that I have the Switch. That's not it. That's not it.
Something
Like
cool about
finally
me being
people
a
are
new
paying attention.
device.
no, that's not it. That's not like
Look at my
Something
Switch.
so cool
yes,
about
it
me
is the
that
Switch.
brings
Talk to
people
me.
together.
Talk to me. No, but like
finally
not
cool.
like that. But like there's just something cool about like it could have been anyone. It could have been like another because other coworkers got it too. But like if maybe I didn't
But
buy the
they're not as
Switch or
cool as you.
something, they're not me. But but maybe like I walk into the room and they're playing the Switch. I'm like, oh my god, like that's Zelda. He's playing the new Zelda game on the Switch. Like there's something cool about being part of that first wave of console owners and gamers out there. So that's always been fun. That's more of just a really broad.
Yeah. I have one more. It's not really that deep, but I think, and you guys maybe have felt the same way. It was kind of like when I first played Dark Souls. Like the first time I kind of got like progress in that game and beat like a super hard boss or something. That was the first time like a game made me feel like that exhilarated and like that accomplished for actually beating like a boss that was so like difficult. Like
Yeah.
I had never played a game that made me that just focused and tense before playing, and I Dark Souls and Bloodborne are like easily my like one of my favorite series that's been created like recently, and like that feeling of just like finally being able to like exhale after fighting a boss and just breathe and like relax for the briefest of moments, because it always comes back, but that feeling after each boss fight is just one of the greatest feelings of any, like, no matter what type of game, Souls game it is. That feeling is fantastic.
My run through Bloodborne and like going to get the platinum and doing like the new game like plus or whatever and all that stuff, like there's a special feeling for sure that like you can only get from those games.
Yeah.
Of like it could be like the adrenaline, it could be like the frustration.
It's just that feeling of finally accomplishing
Sense
it. Like,
of
it's
wonder.
so frustrating when you fight those bosses and lose just over and over again. Then you finally beat it and you're like, yes,
Yeah.
I did it. And then
And
you
there's
feel
like
that
a
pain
release
again.
of energy, and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, I'm a monster, oh my god, and
Yeah.
then you get your
feel
ass
great
kicked
being
within
just like, yes, like I'm great. Look at me, I'm good. And then you just get kicked back down again. But
Well, the other
it's
cool
over
thing,
and
the
over
way
again.
I always describe it, is that game, like, well, one, crazy learning curve. They don't tell you shit in that game at all about any of the systems and the story too. So you're kind of going through that game, not really knowing what you're doing for the most part, why you're doing it, like how it's impacting anything, but you kind of discover it for yourself. But then also, you get like, of course, better weapons and gear, and like you level up your stats or whatever. But you don't really get stronger necessarily. You kind of just get better at the game yourself. Like you become better at like, okay, and it's always fair too. For the most part, it's like most of the time it's fair. You'll be like, okay, I fucked up. Like I got greedy and I went in and I attacked too much while I knew he was gonna attack, or like I knew he was gonna like do that attack to the left. I don't know why I didn't dodge to the right or something like that. And then you'll go back and you'll learn from your mistakes. And like it's the first time where you're kind of in control of your like fate or whatever when playing that game. Like you can never blame the game. You're always like, okay, well I messed up.
That
Like
feeling of just like finally learning and like mastering it, like felt like going from Dark Souls 1 to 2 to Bloodborne, and then finally in like Dark Souls 3, like that was like the pinnacle of me, like knowing, okay, like I've been through this before, and like it doesn't feel bad that I know that stuff. Like it felt really good finally seeing like all the times I played those games, like, yes, like I know how to do this. I can like get through this. Like this feels familiar, and I feel great about being able to like handle this kind of stuff and just not breeze through that game, but like feel confident in that game.
Yeah.
Until of course I died a lot, but still.
it definitely makes you
Great-
feel
great
powerful
feeling.
though.
Yeah.
It makes you as a player feel really good.
So thank you, Dark Souls.
Yeah. We could go on and on about that, I'm sure.
But
But-
we
So
shouldn't.
easily.
I think we're gonna pick a film. Is that what we're gonna do now?
We're gonna
I
pick a
think
film.
we're picking a film
Pick
out of
a
a hat.
film.
It's not me, because I picked the last one.
It's time to pick a film.
Is
It
it-
might be my turn. Hey, not sure.
picked
It might be
Halloween?
Jordan's.
So the thing. Okay. Well,
Who
the
picked
thing
the
is.
thing, Dane. So
Well, the thing is, you picked
Oh,
thing
Dane's
is-
wild card, but does that
wait, I picked
you
out Dane's wild
you
card?
pulled Dane's
Oh, I
wild
did.
card, so he got to choose the thing? But does that mean
Then
that was
why
Dane's
the frick
choice?
did I pick Dazed and Confused?
Because we assume that Dane got the thing, because he technically did choose the thing, but you didn't pull it out of the hat. So does that count?
I don't
No.
know, man.
I don't care.
What should we do?
Well, let's just continue.
I'll pull a movie, I guess. I don't know. Oh no, would it be you?
We should just continue with the circle since we've already done it.
So it was gonna be you, or I don't know who picked Halloween.
I think
I thought that was.
I think I picked Halloween.
I don't know, man.
Because you picked Dazed and Confused.
All right,
I'll pick a movie.
Dane's
I'll
picked
pick a
damn movie.
Yeah, I'll pick a movie.
All
right. So
we're breaking the rule.
Here's a quick
It's whatever, man.
crash course on the Wacky film list. So we made a list of films that we wanted to watch. It's about 50 to 60 films long currently. We wrote them all on pieces of paper, and we're gonna pull one out right now. If you guys want to watch it, we're gonna talk about it on the next podcast.
Yep.
We've currently watched 14 films.
Yeah.
13,
Include Clerks.
3, 4,
I
5, 6, 7.
We've seen the
13.
first 10 minutes of at least
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah.
not including Clerks,
True.
right?
Not including
I mean,
Clerks, yes.
we have seen the first 10 minutes of at least 14. We've seen at least the first 10 minutes of 14 films.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, make of that what you will.
All right, I'm gonna grab a movie. This always gets me really anxious. I'm the only one that gets really anxious with this.
Just go. It's like a Band-Aid. Just rip it off.
I don't want to do it. Okay,
Make
I
sure
have
you show
one.
it to Cam.
Cam's our cameraman.
Cam
I
the
thought Mike
cameraman.
was our cameraman.
Mike is our mic man.
God
Okay.
damn
Boom
it.
in the shot.
All right, here we go. I got one.
It could be a crazy one.
It could be a wild card.
What is it?
Oh, it's Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, yes!
Wow.
I've been
Saving
wanting-
Private
Yes.
I've been wanting
Ryan.
to watch this.
I'm excited.
Hey.
I'm gonna go on. This is an amazing movie.
All right.
This is a really, really good movie. If you haven't seen this movie, it is a little heavy. It's pretty intense. Yeah, not a lighthearted, like, popcorn movie.
I'm
But
excited.
this is a film.
I think I've seen parts of this movie. I have not seen the whole thing, like sitting through, in one viewing. So I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to see this.
I haven't said that about a lot of these films. This one I'm excited for.
Yeah. All right.
Could we watch this at my house with a booming stereo system?
Absolutely not.
No.
Jordan,
We're
where can
watching
they
this
find
on our
you?
iPhones.
Okay.
They can find me.
Watching this on our iPhones separately in separate homes.
We're gonna watch it all at the same time, but we're gonna watch it over Skype chat. You can watch with us. You can't. You
can.
can find me, Jordan Miller, on Twitter at @thekillamilla. You can find me on Tumblr at Tenzo Taicho. You can also find me on other social media sites, Instagram, @thekillamilla. You can find me on Facebook at me, Jordan Miller. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coulter. Where
If
can
they want
I
to stalk
find
you, what's your address?
666 Hell, Michigan. Thank you.
Not bad.
Hell,
Not,
Michigan's a real
not
place.
bad.
Coulter, where can people find you besides Hell?
They can find me at Coulter Potter, spelled Colter, space. No, well, there's no space if it's an
Underscore?
at handle. No, there's nothing. So it's COLTERPOTTER.
Okay.
And that's Instagram and Twitter. I'm not really going to plug anything else right now. You guys should check out our Outlast 2 playthrough. I guess you could call it a Let's Play. I think it's going to be on our YouTube channel, so
Which we will be
which is
plugging.
called Not So Subtle. If you just look up Not So Subtle, I think
Can they go to
I think you should find it.
youtube.com/notsosubtle? Does that work?
I should know that, but I don't off the top of my head.
Don't go to that
Yeah.
yet. Just type in Not So Subtle. You'll see our logo. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a username on YouTube and it's not so subtle. I'm pretty sure that's the URL. Like, don't quote me on that. I'll double check.
There
that.
is a channel called I Don't Want to Give Them Promotion.
Don't.
There
promote
is
anyone
something
else.
that's similar.
But it's not us.
There's a channel. I'll say that it's called our channel name. It's called our what our channel name is.
Yeah.
It's called that, and then the word gaming on the.
Yeah, but that's not us because we're not just.
But that's
gaming.
not us. Yeah, we're
multimedia.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're
that's not us.
entrepreneurs.
Okay, don't click on it.
Dane, where
Just
can
kidding.
people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me pretty much everything at Lane Da Point, LANEDA Point, Lane Da Point. Yeah, I mean Instagram, Twitters, all that stuff, PSN. You can find me on Pornhub at MeatStaff420.
Don't look that up. Don't look that up. Don't look that up.
Don't look that up.
Meat stuff.
That's not my Pornhub name. I have a different one.
It's a different. Not gonna dox Dane's porn title.
Yeah.
It's Mr.
Yeah,
Meat.
I mean, that's about it.
It's a dish
I don't
fish
have a ton
in
of
the
plugs.
Fisher rack.
It's Alton Brown 69.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can find me. I mean, porn to me really is just
we're not doing
watching.
this.
No,
We're not
watching
doing this.
people cook extravagant meals in the dishwasher. There's
is
nothing
great.
more exciting than that to me.
Titillating.
Yeah, titillating, if you will.
If all you lovely listeners out there want to contact us,
Please do it.
and we hope you do, you can find us at itsnotsosubtle@gmail.com.
Thank you.
It's correct.
You can find our YouTube page. It's just look up Not So Subtle. You'll see our cool neon-ish looking logo. You can find us on iTunes, Not So Subtle. Look it up. Subscribe, and please subscribe and review. If you do that, it really helps us out on
Yeah,
iTunes.
it does really help
We're
us.
on Google
I think
Play.
rate too. You can do like
Rate,
5 stars or
review,
whatever.
do
You can.
all that.
You could do 5 stars.
Yeah, we're
You
on Google
could.
Play if you're a Neanderthal and you have an Android phone.
Thanks.
Play.
Wow, that's very alienating. but-
you have only like 66% of the population
iPhone or
of the world
die.
has an Android. It's
iPhone or
alright.
die.
But yeah, did I miss any? Instagram,
Instagram,
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's Not So
Twitter.
Subtle.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it.
I'd-
SoundCloud. We're on
Yeah.
SoundCloud. Does SoundCloud having the thing where the older episodes are not going to be
Yeah,
available?
so literally only our most recent episode is going to be on
Okay.
SoundCloud every single
if
time.
you want to listen to our most recent episode, hit us up on SoundCloud. How about that?
And then it'll be deleted off the internet in a week.
And then you guys will
It'll
have
be
something
elsewhere.
that's a limited time offer. If you want to be part of that, you can get that.
And I don't know if we
time.
explained, but the reason for that is because you can only have 3 hours of sound on your SoundCloud forever.
And because we're sounding at almost an hour 45, this one's almost 2 hours long. We're not going to have a whole bunch on SoundCloud, but you
Yeah.
can still find us there. Anyways, please
pretty much
send
it, I
us your comments, your questions, your critiques
Yeah.
at any of those sources.
Yeah, I think it's important to hear from the listeners because that can help us shape the podcast. They can help us just get feedback on what we can do better, what we can change, what we
So-
can add.
If you're listening, send us in what kind of trouble you got into in school, or maybe what your favorite gaming moment was as not a child.
Yep. Or anything you really want to tell us.
Just if you have something off your chest, just let us know.
Yeah, I mean,
not-
we're
goddamn,
here.
We're not
We're here
licensed
for you.
doctors, but hey,
Yeah.
I'll give my best
if
advice.
Luke Skywalker's your damn idol,
He
let us
is.
know. Okay.
If Luke Skywalker's your idol, hit me up.
Yeah, you can have a nice conversation with Jordan.
I will confess my adoration for Luke Skywalker at any given time.
Jordan does have a body pillow of Luke Skywalker in his room.
I won't confirm this. I won't deny it.
You don't need to.
All right.
That's the magic.
I think we're going to leave it off on a very nice email that we got. So this is
Whoa. We got another email?
We got an email like right after we recorded the last episode, I think, and you're gonna
this
like
was
this.
this was a heartwarming one.
This one is just really nice, kind of in the vein
even
of
know.
our comment that we got on our previous video. It's about as nice as that. So the subject line is Dane, and it says the body of the text reads as follows: "Fuck you."
Aww.
Oh man!
And it says "Love Ryan." So thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ryan.
you, Ryan, for that lovely comment.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You're a nice
actually.
boy.
Yeah,
If anyone else wants to send a big FU to us, feel free.
Not quite a death threat, but you know.
it's not quite.
Not everyone loves us that much.
Would it be wrong? I am offended. I'm offended.
You should be.
Is that what he wants? Maybe.
He maybe forgot to say, I want to.
I don't know what he wants. This is
Ooh,
what this is what
okay.
he's getting. I'm offended.
Typo. Well, I don't know. All right, anyway.
Sorry.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
And we're gonna see you next time.